Right.
And he's like, he's not going to be here. So the quality of our show would just be shit because I would be trying to do it and it wouldn't work.
Is it another funeral again, Mark?
Is it? Don't say
it's not a funeral.
It's
right?
not the same person.
Please don't say it's not.
It's not the same person died again. Like
my birthday.
Because then we know. I've been through that story.
It's my girlfriend's birthday, so we're heading out to.
That's fine.
Now I have to think about it. I wasn't sure. I thought I thought it was serious.
No.
I don't know if I can give permission. No, it's okay. Because this is the reason why it's all going to make sense. Because the week after that, we've already got a planned show, and it's going to be a celebrity guest. So it'll be worth it for everybody to. And we're going to put out some promo and let everyone guess who it is. I'm sure they'll never figure it out. But we have a good show lined up for the 11th. And I might as well just announce it now because we're going to announce it later. But we have made the decision to hold New Year's Eve celebrations on the Adam Dunn Show live. So we're going to start at 4:20 p.m. on Thursday the 31st. And we're going to go till 4:20 in the morning the next day. So it'll be 12 hours long.
Why don't we start at 4:20 Eastern?
Just don't even start. It's starting when I say it starts. No, because I need to, because right out of the gate in England it's going to be already fucking 12:20 when we start. So it's going to be like shit. They've already. So I want to celebrate each, and then we have this whole ocean thing in the middle, which kind of sucks. There's nowhere to celebrate there, and then we get East Coast time, and then we get the Central, and then we go.
No, what I'm saying is if we started at 4:20 Eastern, that would be 2:20 here. We can do 4:20.
Oh, you want to go 14 hours? You're going 14 hours now.
No, we'd stop at 2 o'clock our time, 4:20.
I don't know.
Eastern.
It sounds complicated already. We may think about it, but either way, it's going to be a 12-hour show.
I just think people would stick out with us till 2 in the morning, easier than doing it until 4 in the morning.
I watch a 24-hour marathon every year.
Yeah, 12 hours, nothing. I mean, but
I'm not. It's not. I'm not
it's,
saying shorten the show.
I say it's nothing, but also what I forgot to mention is we will be doing the 5280 challenge on that day. It'll start. Ooh. So, yeah. Serious. So
this is the way. I mean, if I understand collectively, right? Mm-hmm. There's going to be 5 or 6 of us, and we'll have people calling in to motivate us to.
Oh no, it's going to be
eat through
super chat. We're going to be working the super chat. It's going to be exciting, and you're going to get your money's worth because you get it to spin the wheel. And then it's going to be a wheel, spin the wheel, land on the right thing. It's going to hit Dave every time because I'm going to have it all figured out.
Cooking a batch with 2.
And Cooking a Batch with 2 is coming out.
It's going to remind me of quarters back in college when everybody just pointed to me.
We're going to have all the shows, every show that didn't work out. We're going to have the kid show again. It's going to happen. I already told him he's got to do it. So we're going to have a kid out. We're going to have one of those hours, which is going to be the kid.
Dr. Mark
can do it. Yeah, exactly. And then 2's show. All the ideas, we're going to cram them all in on the last day of the year and try to make it all work for you. So it should be fun.
All right.
I think it's going to be good
for everyone.
Not for you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people out there.
You,
the people,
fans.
the people, the fans,
the people,
the chat gang, specifically. The real fans,
we have
the true
New Year's,
fans.
So did we decide on? Do we want just one 5,000 milligram gummy? And we eat it because that gets kind of gross.
That's disgusting, dude. No.
I
We're gonna have a plethora of different because we're gonna have on the wheel is gonna be all the different cool things. Like it's gonna be Incredibles is gonna have a bunch of things on there, and we're gonna have a bunch of these and that, and we're gonna put them up. So it'll be promotion and activities all in one. Anyway, we're working on it. James Bean is on it, so you can just imagine the direction this is going. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be fun.
So that means this month, or the next month, December, you will have missed one show, which will be the first one, but you will gain 3 extra shows. Not bad. Not a bad deal.
Not bad at all. And the 11th is going to be a show to remember, I'm hoping. It'll be one of those people constantly say, oh, yeah, I watched that one again. They had a great guest.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
I think it's going to be a exciting use of our quarantine time because that's the thing is what is everyone going to do for New Year's this year? It's going to be like the opposite of any New Year's we've ever had, right?
Oh, who are you kidding? They're all going out.
Yeah. All right, we'll see.
They're going out.
We'll see. We will see. All right. Well, having said that, now we all know what's coming up. Hopefully, Tony Baloney will come back into the chat now that he's.
Yeah, where is he? Come on, Tony.
He's probably burning the fucking hoodie right now and making videos. like Jimi Hendrix style with fucking
Little lighter fluid.
little lighter fluid, exactly.
That's great.
okay,
Can
so
you
I-
video it? If you're doing that, please video it.
Yeah, but the good part is nobody can read the logo because you can't see it, so they wouldn't even know what you're burning. They'd just be like, "Wow, you burned that black hoodie with the said word show." Because did you see what he sent it? It was like all it said was show because the show is the reversed, right? So everything was black except for the word show. I was like, that is hilarious.
I tried to zoom in to see if I could see anything.
Nothing. No, but that's the problem. Is
No.
it's because I'm looking at the logo right now, and it's like this because we have it reversed. The word show is reversed on our thing. Anyway,
There he is. Hey, Tony, we love you.
hey,
Don't hate us.
oh good, he's there.
Don't hate us.
He's back from burning the
need
hoodie.
ya.
Burning the hoodie. It's all right. It's going to be a collector's item because they're discontinued. So now it's going to be worth some real. Now you just have to hold on. Don't even just put it away with all your other collectibles, and one day they'll be like, "Wow, you have one of those."
We need quality control to take a look at whatever hoodie we're sending him to just double check for any imperfections or anything like that. Just to make sure. We only got one more shot at this, man. One more shot, man.
One more shot. All right. Speaking of one more shot, we'll get in touch with Joe. Let's get him on the show. Let's
Joe,
bang.
if you can hear us, come on, turn your video on and come say hello to everybody.
Let's get this show started.
Yeah,
Hey, Adam.
there he is.
Well, hello.
Hey, welcome, Joe.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. So, Dr. Joe Cohen, everybody of, do I get it? I always say Holos Health.
Yeah, you got it.
Right. And so Joe's been delivering babies for the first part of his career, and now does some really good work advising and doing physicians evaluations in the cannabis community since 2010?
Yeah, I started when I left New Zealand. I was practicing down there for about 2.5 years. Came back to the States. My wife, who has some autoimmune condition, says, "Hey, I want to go to a dispensary and see if any of this cannabis stuff," this was back in February 2010, "can help me." Next thing I know, I was working in the back of a dispensary. So that's
Which dispensary?
That's how it was back in the day. It was, well, now it's called the Joya in Louisville. It was called Compassion Pain Management back then. And in 2010, when doctors came in, it was just to help people get legal pot because that was the only way they can get it. And then you had to wait like 6-9 months to get your card, whatever. Yeah, that's how it all started.
Yeah, it's always that's your entry level to getting into the cannabis scene. Where were you in New Zealand? Were you in North Island or South Island?
I was in North Island, a town called Wanganui, which they now call Whanganui. They added the H, which is the F sound. Yeah, so I was working there as an OBGYN. That was the last time I delivered a baby. Was there. I came back to States and I felt I was getting too old for this. So, yeah, I love New Zealand.
So you were there for 2.5 years, you said, or?
Yeah, yep.
And was it what got you down there in the first place?
Desire to go down there. I was working as a hospitalist and I was burning out. And I said, I've always wanted to go to New Zealand. So I contacted a recruiter. I said, "Do you need any OBGYNs down there?" And they said, "Yes." So the next thing I know, I was down there for 2.5 years. So, yeah.
It's a great place. I mean, it's like we when I was living in Australia and I went to New Zealand, and it's funny because Australia and New Zealand, they have like it's the Hatfield and McCoys, as far as like when you're in Australia, I'm like, I think I'm going to go over to New Zealand. You're like, what do you want to go over there for? And I'm like, well, because it's super gorgeous and totally different than here. And no. And then I get there and it's exactly that. It was like one of the most amazing places. It's kind of like Hawaii, but cold and in a weird, different place. Like when you fly into it and you see it, you're like, it has that vibe of like it's just sticking up out of the sea and looks really intense. But it's kind of like a weird, it's a weird mix. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah,
Did you advise on their cannabis program too?
Well, no, I didn't advise. What happened was I was doing talks for seniors on cannabis for the elderly, people my age, and they had got wind of that, and they were going to be introducing marijuana to New Zealand medical. And basically, they flew a crew up here to spend a few days with me to do a docuseries, and they we did a few things, and including a talk. So that was my extent with cannabis in New Zealand. But if they invited me back, I'd probably go in a heartbeat right now.
So were you incorporating cannabis into your practices before because I mean it is like one of the most acceptable things of cannabis is like, oh well, childbirth, like you always hear that as part of like one of the things that actually makes sense. You're like, okay, that makes sense. But did you ever practice that or?
No, if I practiced that, I probably would be here talking to you. Probably lost my license or whatever. But it's when I came back and started doing cannabis medicine, by the way, nothing about cannabis other than many trips to Jamaica or some time where I could get away and do something that wasn't illegal here in the States. I basically started using cannabis medicine along with nutritional medicine, which is called functional medicine. So we look for triggers of disease, and then the first medicine that we go to in our practice is cannabis to try to help eliminate other medications. So not prior to doing cannabis medicine, but afterwards we combine it with nutritional therapy, et cetera.
I used to get the, what was it? It was the first emulsified CBD sublingual Quicksilver.
Yep.
I want to say 5 years ago. I mean, for the longest time, it was one of the only places I could get good quality CBD at the time, and then it just boomed everywhere.
Yeah. He was one of the early pioneers, and his is like just so quickly absorbed. It's like you feel it within 5 minutes. Your anxiety is gone. That type of thing. Yeah.
I like that. 5 minutes, anxiety gone.
That's right. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually the problem with delivery is that if it takes too long for the onset, then people are getting nervous that it's not going to work. Then they always take a little bit more to maybe get it over the, and then the first part kicks in, and it's like so predictable, right? It's like a almost guaranteed for anybody out there who's consumed enough. They've all have the story, right?
Yeah.
So when you were starting what you were working in the back of a dispensary, you said, and you were filling, you were giving people, you were seeing people there and giving them prescriptions, or what was the deal?
Yeah. So basically, it was a dispensary where at the beginning of time when we started doing this, doctors used to be in the back of dispensaries just making recommendations, and you were really encouraged to pass everybody who went through the door to make sure they got their card no matter what. So that's how we started. And then July of that year, 2010, is when the law came into effect where doctors couldn't be associated with dispensaries. You had to have your own office. So it just kind of got me started when I got back from New Zealand with something to do till I opened up my practice.
Yeah, well, those are definitely like when you look. It's like whenever some new place comes online, and they're still haven't quite got their regulations in order. And you look at it like in amazement because you've been in Colorado for long enough that you're like, oh my God, you guys can do that. Because you just forget that in the beginning here it was the same thing. It was like, when you have a doctor at a dispensary, you can pretty much guarantee that that's like hardly a real. I mean, it's a real doctor, but it's hardly like a real, in-depth sort of thing. But at the same time, I feel like if you overdo it, and you start telling people they're not, I mean, you start not giving people, then you're also, the process, you're not helping the process at all. What kind of numbers are we talking in those first years? Because it was pretty crazy, like as far as gang, but what was your average amount of people coming through the door on a day in the shops?
Boy, probably see about 20 people a day around that time. And then as time was on, we were doing 15-minute visits, but I found that 15 minutes wasn't long enough. So we went to half-hour to 1 hour visits. So right now I'm only seeing like about maybe 8 patients a day, every day, because I have to keep it limited somewhat. So,
but that's basically because the state was putting such a scrutiny to you and micro-reviewing everything. I mean, I've heard of emergency room physicians who could see 30 patients in a shift, and no one ever complains, oh my God, I wasn't treated right. I didn't get good medical care. If they could see that many, you should be able to decide what the proper amount of time and care is for a patient, not the state.
Yeah, well, the state doesn't put any of that on us. We did that pretty much on our own. So, I just decided for the practice, you weren't supposed to do more than 3,500 or so patients in a year.
That was it.
More than a family practice doc, and they put a stipulation in the law to that effect. The most I ever saw in a year, even before that, was about 2,000. So it wasn't like I was anywhere near that number.
I'm curious, Doc, what if you're telling a story, not violating HIPAA or mentioning any names, what was the largest plant count ever requested of you?
Well, I've had requested of me, but I've never offered. I've had requested 99 plants, but I've never given anybody 99 plants.
Yeah.
Adam gets 9,000, I believe.
I used to get 99 back in the day when it was a little more relaxed. Like around 2010, you could still do that, and even until recently, there's a few, but it doesn't really matter because the state is not recognizing it. So it's sort of like you can have that piece of paper, and you can hope it's going to do something, but it really comes down to the discretion of the officer at the time and the county, and it's a very slippery slope. Have you have you had any of your people that have gotten busted, for instance, and come to you and ask you to come represent them in court? Have you done that for anybody, or had to? Do we freeze?
Joe, we lose you?
He's thinking.
No, his video froze.
No, I know it did. He's got a good.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's in a good thinking.
That's a good pose. I was saying earlier that they're using Joe's likeness for the Jerry Garcia brand,
right,
for a stunt double.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Joe, restart if you can still hear us.
He just doesn't want to say that
he doesn't want to.
He's like,
he doesn't want to tell us.
I can't tell you.
No, that was the crazy Wild West back then. I used to hear stories of docs lining people up, 30, 40 deep, and just seeing them until they're done. And
like
you're absolutely right.
Like one of those preachers just hitting people on the head. Boom! You have your license. Next one.
Right. I mean, you'd hear from docs that the only times they ever denied patients were when they were obvious cops.
Ah, there he is. He's back.
Yeah, I had to
there he
switch
is.
to a different system here. Good old Comcast. So yeah, I don't know where we were with that, but
I was just asking you if you had to represent anybody in court for any of their cases or anything like that, because
no, I have no intention of doing that. We'll send people a letter, if they need a letter, just why we're recommending cannabis to them, why it's better than taking opioids or whatever else they might have been taking, but not to go to court. Not interested.
No.
Yeah.
He's not an attorney. That's what Jeff Guard's for. Your medical advice and your letter of recommendation supporting their use of medicinal cannabis should be enough for a judge. And I think, court history has shown it works, right? They've accepted the affirmative defense of medical patients. I haven't heard of anyone. We'll have to ask Jeff next time he's on, but I haven't heard of any big cases. Have you heard of any medical patients actually facing the hand of the law?
I haven't seen anything close to that myself in the 10 years I've been doing this. Not even close. So
I mean, the thing is, it's like there's been a lot of issues like in Denver itself. Like in Denver, it has problems because I know multiple people who've had problems, but it's mostly from growing outside, and that turns into an issue, and which is like usually it should be the opposite almost, because that's the safest way you can grow cannabis is outdoors in the sun, right? Compared to like force you to grow indoors, force you to set up, electrical things that might be beyond your capabilities. Right. But yeah, that's been kind of the unfortunate trend is that in Colorado at least, and actually a lot of places there's like even in Cali, the places that were the most notorious for growing cannabis, some of those places have moratoriums. They're not allowed to grow outdoors anymore, So it's like, yeah, it's sad state of affairs. How's your wife's conditions from over the years?
Well, she has some autoimmune conditions, and autoimmune disease is one of the things I do a lot of work with. So we go into a whole nutritional supplementation, lifestyle change, and using cannabis, using like about a 1-to-1 ratio of CBD to THC. That's also what they found for MS out of the UK when they were studying MS, and they came up with Sativex. That was a 1-to-1 ratio. And we found that when Harlequin came to Colorado from California, we were getting patients who were getting Harlequin, which is about a 1-to-1 ratio, full spectrum, and they were doing amazingly well. So we found that what they were studying in the UK for MS, which is autoimmune and neurodegenerative, that we got excellent results. So we put her on a regimen of a certain nutritional program. She's gluten-free because there's an association there. And then started giving her some Harlequin to use. And eventually she stopped using cannabis. Now she just uses CBD. And her autoimmune diseases have resolved over the last 10 years. She basically doesn't have autoimmune. It's in complete remission right now. So we do a lot of work with autoimmune.
Yeah, well, I'm curious about that because that's one of those, like, it seems like when we were younger, you never really heard about autoimmune diseases. It wasn't even like it wasn't even comprehended like that. But now it seems like there's so many different conditions that are lumped together. You got Crohn's and different kinds, like they're all kind of in this sort of same, and they're also, there's like hard to put your finger on it, right? Everything is like, we don't really know. What do you think what do you think causes the exponential growth of this? Is it?
So several things, and that was a great observation you just made, because that's basically what we see. We see there's 80 suspected, 80 known and 40 suspected autoimmune related disorders, and 1 out of every 6 Americans now has an autoimmune condition. There's also been an association with what we've done to our wheat plant since 1943 when they started hybridizing wheat. Much more gliadin, spray it with glyphosate, which is a toxin. So, and we find that a lot of patients who have autoimmune very commonly have gluten sensitivity issues.
It's another one of those like out of nowhere things too, right? Like as a kid, I never heard of anybody going like, "No, sorry, man, I don't eat wheat." You're like, right. Now all of a sudden it's like an issue, and that is a testament to big ag just throwing down tons and tons of former World War II sort of chemicals that they're like, hey, this stuff works great. And you're like, right. Probably not for us. So do you feel that the glyphosate, because the way I look at it is, okay, glyphosate is designed to put holes in the bellies of these pests, right? And it just does that on a macro level with us, and kind of that's a simplistic way of thinking of it, but that's kind of how I see it. Like you hear leaky gut syndrome, and you sort of look at people like if I look at let's say a Walmart, let's say we just go into a Walmart, you walk around, you're like leaky gut, because you just know when somebody has that condition, then you're like, oh, I get it now, I can see it, and because you can see the body shape type and the fact that they're probably eating processed food all day, and but do you think it's glyphosate is the main thing, or is there what other things?
Glyphosate is part of the reason. The gluten, the gliadin, the type of gluten is the other part. So what ends up happening with autoimmune, and by the way, we're podcasting ourselves, and we have a podcast. It's called The Cannabis Friendly Guide to Medicine. We have a whole.
Wait, say that again so we can get it up on the chat room.
Oh, sure. The Cannabis Friendly Guide to Wellness is our podcast. And we have about 10 or so episodes. We're producing more all the time, but there's a whole hour episode where we get into what causes autoimmune and what you can do to help reverse your condition, slow the progression, or even reverse your condition, which I've seen with many patients. So we start usually, because gluten is a huge problem with it, between the gliadin and the glyphosate. And then on top of that, the next thing we do is we also give them some CBD, 1-to-1 ratios to help with pain. But CBD we find is immunosuppressive, so it brings your immune system from a hyper condition, from autoimmune, to a normal level. Instead of taking these immunosuppressive drugs that bring your immune system below normal. So CBD also helps heal the gut with the leaky gut. That's what happens after you're gluten sensitive and you're eating gluten and using glyphosate and you're eating what we call toxic wheat, which is what we produce in this country, causes leaky gut that you mentioned. And that creates the inflammatory response, the hyperimmune response, because things are getting into your body that don't belong there. So CBD works as an anti-inflammatory because there's always inflammation associated. It's immunosuppressive, brings your immune system to normal. And the third thing that CBD does, it actually helps fill in the grout, I call it. It plugs up the holes in the intestine and actually helps heal the gut from leaky gut, which is essential to develop autoimmune.
So how many milligrams of CBD should I be taking a day?
I think most people, if you take, like a capsule or a tincture, anywhere from 25 to 50 milligrams twice a day is our recommended dose. Most people start out at 25.
And what if I took 200?
Probably won't hurt you at all. So I take about 150 milligrams a day myself.
There was a moment in time because I knew this was going to happen, but CBD was blowing up. Everybody's starting to see it in, like you see it in gas stations, and you see it everywhere, and you see it in like the other day. It was funny because the other day I went to a Bed Bath and Beyond, and I was like looking at, they have a diffusers, right? They sell their diffusers, and now they sell CBD drops for the diffusers, and I was like, damn, I was thinking about that like 5 years ago. But I was thinking THC, fuck the CBD ones. I was thinking THC, but in general, I was like, there it is. It's already packaged, ready to go. It's $30 for a couple bottles, and you put it into your vaporizers. And I was like, wow, this has gone to the point of like ridiculousness. But what I was going to say was, do you feel like the quality of because that's the biggest problem is I know from a grower's point of view and from seeing on the market what's out there that people who are producing these products, a lot of them will never, ever in a million years, use the product themselves, care who's using the product, just pumping it out like just crazy. And so I feel like the residual, like the difference, like all the different products that are out there, if you went to every gas station from like, say you drove from like New York to Florida, and at every gas station you stopped and got a CBD drink and popped a couple CBD pills and did some other CBD, whatever, I think that at a certain point you would end up with possible THC accumulation because all those things are a little hot. Some of them are on, just pushing them into the market without even, if nobody's checking, who cares, right? So they put out a million pills that have X amount of THC in them. Have you ever heard of anybody like coming to you with failed drug tests or weird things or anything like that?
Yeah, so basically you can get CBD. Obviously, you can get isolates of CBD, which aren't as effective. You don't have any THC to help it bind. You don't have the beta-caryophyllene, the terpene that helps carry it to receptors. So isolates don't work as well, number one.
Good point.
So you want to get full spectrum, in my opinion. And if you're getting full spectrum, it's going to have a little THC. And yes, you can test positive. And we have had patients test positive because we have our own lines that we use, recommended patients, and people can test positive. Right. It's got that 0.3% right at the cusp of when it's hemp versus marijuana, which is the only time I really use that word because it's the same plant.
Yeah, but I think, again, like I think people because CBD is really good for a lot of things, but people try to now it's got to the point where there's mattresses and pillows and, it's getting kind of ridiculous to the point, so how is it going to get from the pillow into your body? Like, that's what I was wondering. It's like, no, dude, it's there, but what's the craziest CBD product you've seen out there?
I don't know what the craziest CBD product is because I don't really follow that, but I do know that they were actually testing. I actually heard this from a Canadian physician who came down to work with me for a week and train with me. And she was saying that they were doing studies of all the stuff that was sold online, and that about 3/4 of it was pure crap. Either didn't have any CBD in it at all, or maybe could have been just isolates, or maybe coming from China, contaminated or whatever.
Roundup stems.
Not good stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of garbage out there in the form of CBD that people are trying to profit. But you have to get it in the right form. Obviously, you want to get it as cleanly grown as possible, and using extraction methods that are good, preserving the whole plant.
There was a point in time where somebody kind of came out with a report, but I don't know if it was substantiated in any way, shape, or form. But they were talking about the dangers of like liver accumulation in the liver from too much CBD, And
Yeah.
like, did you hear? What did you have? You got any insight on that?
I did see an article about that once, and I took it with a grain of salt. Quite frankly, I didn't really think there was much to it.
I mean,
So
it seemed like a scare tactic more to me. Like, oh,
yeah,
that's another
yeah,
thing to get people nervous. Like, oh, maybe I
right.
shouldn't be. But I mean, I do think. What do you think's the maximum amount somebody before it's just kind of like overload and every receptor has pretty much been
Yeah,
hit.
we don't see that. I don't see that with CBD like you would with THC.
Yeah, THC has a very definitive saturation point.
Yeah, and when they were doing studies, Mount Sinai was doing a study with Harvard, combined study on using CBD to help people who were withdrawing off of opioids because it really helped with the anxiety and a lot of the negative side effects. And they were recommending about 600 milligrams daily in that study. No harm with any of that, but there are other conditions where high doses are recommended, but the studies are just not there to really tell us what an appropriate dose is for a particular condition. We just don't have the studies.
So when you were explaining before about isolates not working, which is 100% like that's what I've told people since the beginning. I'm like, well, you're just kind of wasting it if you throw it into put it into a food product or you put it. It's not active. Just kind of explain a little bit about the beta caryophyllene connection, because that's one of that is one of the good terps actually. It's like actually one of the really good ones,
Yeah, beta caryophyllene is my favorite terpene of any because we do a lot of work with CBD, and they've been showing that when you have a little bit of THC and you've got a significant enough amount of beta caryophyllene, I don't know what that significant amount is, but when you have a significant amount of beta caryophyllene, it actually does help. Beta caryophyllene is the only terpene which binds to your CB2 receptors, your immune receptors. So it acts like a cannabinoid, even though it's a terpene. It's found in black pepper, clove, cinnamon, and other plants as well.
Right.
But beta caryophyllene basically carries the CBD to the receptors to help it bind, just like THC does in a different way. And so it actually, I believe that my personal belief is that if you have a full spectrum plant and beta caryophyllene is one of the terpenes in that hemp plant that you're producing products for your patients or whatever, I think that's going to be the most effective way to get it.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's also like how certain. I was just thinking when you said that, I was thinking, people tell you to take, like, if you smoke too much weed, you should like black pepper is a way to kind of come down. Is that something to do with the way that it gets to the same receptors as the CBD ones do, or?
No, I haven't heard about black pepper being a way to come down. It's the CBD, so that helps it come down. So basically, the way it works is that we have. Let's talk about our CB1 receptors in our brain. That's where our CB1 receptors do the things with our neurons. So we have two types of binding sites on our receptors. Okay, we have one that's called an orthosteric binding site, which is what THC and our endocannabinoids bind to, and then you have another one called an allosteric binding site, which is what CBD binds to. So when it binds to that different binding site on the same receptor, it changes the way the THC works. And it does three things. Number one, it decreases psychoactivity. So if you're too stoned, the best thing to do is get like some of that Quicksilver stuff we talked about earlier, that pump bottle that works in 5 minutes. Your anxiety, you're going to come down. It's going to counteract some of the anxiety that's associated with being too stoned, because THC can cause anxiety. So it decreases anxiety, it decreases psychoactivity, and it eliminates the increased heart rate or the tachycardia that THC can cause. So I'm a real proponent with patients of when you're using your THC, use some CBD as well. You may not get as stoned, but you're going to get a much better therapeutic effect. You're going to get a better pain relieving effect, and you're going to be able to, you'll be able to treat whatever you're treating, including anxiety that THC can sometimes cause people. So CBD is your rescue.
Right. What about CBG? What about CBG?
CBG is coming into its own now. We're actually talking to our producers. These are guys from CU that grow here in Boulder County, and they make whatever we want for our patients. We're actually looking at coming up with a CBDA, CBD, and a CBG compound. We're going to call it the trifecta, so we can get more of those anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, et cetera, cannabinoids in our system that we may not be getting much of out of some of the plants that we're, whether we're smoking it or whether we're using tinctures, whatever. So I think CBG is going to be a big area of.
Because the people, I mean, it's one of those things that now it's a lot of people grew it last year. A lot of people sitting on it, a lot of people trying to sell it. And then people just got their spiel for their CBD thing down. And then somebody goes like, so what does this do? And they're all like, stuff, kind of anti-inflammatory, like just kind of start throwing stuff out there. What is the main proponents? What are the main things that it does, CBG on its own, let's say?
Yeah, CBG is an anti-inflammatory. It does have some anti-cancer properties.
What about
it has some
bone growth, I heard? Is that one of those? Was it a
bone growth?
Yeah.
Both, and so does CBD on bone growth. Both are positive. So for postmenopausal women, as an example, CBD, CBG can be used in a combination. And I don't know enough about CBDA yet and its possibilities there. But that's why we want to combine them into a capsule so that people get these other cannabinoids that they may not be getting from other methods that they're using.
And what about CBC, Joe? Somebody reached out to me.
Yeah, I don't have enough knowledge about CBC at this point. I'm sure we'll hit that too.
Well, you just threw in a CBA or something earlier. What did you throw?
CBDA.
Oh, CBD. Okay, that was CBD. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought I was listening. I thought I heard a CBA. I was like, wait a minute, CBA. Where we're going?
Yeah.
CBD, EFG is
there
coming.
probably is one somewhere that we don't know about yet, but not to my knowledge. Yeah.
And
CBDA may have significantly more anti-inflammatory power than CBD even, and we already know it has anti-cancer properties. So that's another thing that a lot of people are starting to produce.
What about THCVA?
I don't know anything about THCVA, an acid form of THCV. I don't know anything about that in particular. THCV, however, like in Durban poison, as an example of a strain. Durban poison, it's funny how things happen. I was a migraine sufferer. I averaged about 2 migraines a week. Think about being an OB-GYN and having to go in the middle of the night doing surgery with a migraine. I used to have to do that all the time. So
not a stressful situation to be in when you have a migraine. It's like
right.
People screaming and that would be crazy.
Yeah. So when you get into certain situations like that, I probably would have wished I had this plant medicine available back then to use, although I couldn't use it in that when I was on call, but certainly was able to use it at other times. So where were we going with that question? I've totally
THCV. I think we're in. And then,
THCV. So when I started working for a dispensary in the back room, they had Durban poison. And I was getting my migraines, and I bought a little portable vaporizer and started using Durban. I'd have it on my nightstand, and if I started to get a migraine in the morning, average 2 a week, I would hit the vaporizer with Durban poison. And lo and behold, it was a whole year when I was doing that where I did not have to get any migraine medicine because the Durban knocked it out.
That's
and
amazing.
I believe that's because of THCV. In Durban, it tends to have a lot of THCV in that strain.
Yeah. The only part that makes me wonder is because I know 100% that what you had was probably not real Durban because it's from here in Colorado, and there's this one cut that everybody uses here, which is definitely not it's like a beautiful plant, and it's got a very distinctive thing about it when everybody had it, like every single dispensary had it. Definitely back in 2009, 2010 when I first got here, it was like one of the most prevalent ones, and it was like, oh, that's definitely not Durban poison. But I wonder if it was just happened to be I don't know if it was a THCV strain that maybe in the long run was just
Sounds like it was.
It could have been, you know.
Yeah,
But
and I've seen some analysis on some of the Durbins where they actually showed me on their
yeah, that's what I was going to
analysis.
say. You're working around like enough people that have been testing their stuff. So, yeah, I think THCV and I don't know about THCVA, but definitely I think that's like the one thing that is going to become real popular in the next few years because it has very magical qualities to it. It's almost like it's like that little magic dust or something as far as the high quality goes. And if you're talking about like being able to cure migraines, I mean, that's also like, come on now, that is true medicine, but also true medicine that gets you really high. So that's like
there's another thing to cure migraines. When we talk about migraines, we recommend something like a Durbin or whatever to inhale through vaporizer or whenever you have a migraine, earlier the better. But the thing to prevent migraines, and this is Ethan Russo, who has done a lot of this research about, and he came up with the theory about endocannabinoid deficiency syndrome. And CBD actually boosts the production of 2-AG and decreases the destruction of anandamide, so we have more endocannabinoid tone. And Ethan Russo theorized that people with migraines and some other conditions like fibromyalgia may have an endocannabinoid deficiency, therefore taking CBD may boost your endocannabinoid tone. Now, I've suffered from migraines for as long as I can remember, quite frankly. From young adulthood, average 2 week. The day that I started doing some CBD capsules twice a day, 25 milligrams twice a day, is the day that my migraines went away. I haven't had a migraine for 2.5 years, and it wasn't coincidental. So I think Ethan Russo hit on something with his theory, but that's not everybody who has migraines. There's many different triggers for migraines. But it turned out for me, that was my issue. I had an endocannabinoid deficiency.
You just touched on something too. So let's talk about the connection between anandamide and THC and the kind of like, because anandamide is like the natural occurring sort of cannabinoid, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, right? I mean, that's
it's
it's very similar in structure, or
without the high, of course, from our own production. So. Yeah, we can have.
I guess it depends on who you are, right? Some people might, that anandamide might be kicking in hard. You'd be like, well,
yeah, maybe.
What's he on?
Some good
anandamide.
It's interesting. We're doing. We just did a podcast just last week. We haven't edited it yet to put it out there, but it's about cannabis and aging. Because we see the largest growing demographic of patients that we see in our practice have, for the last few years, have been people my age. And we do know that people as they age tend to have an endocannabinoid deficiency, and which is another reason why we look at potential of CBD being important for people as they get older. Yeah. Little THC would never hurt anybody either, especially nowadays with everything that's going on with COVID and stress and all the things we've been through over the last, I should say 4 years, but certainly over the last year.
Well, they're sort of honing in now on aging as far as they're getting it figured. It's not figuring it totally out, but it's kind of like an unraveling, right? Isn't that like the ends kind of start to get frayed and things start to just break down?
Telomeres.
Exactly, telomeres, exactly. And so you think that the CBD, because the way I envisioned it back in the day when it was just kind of like getting my brain around it, I figured it's like smoking and CBD and THC, maybe THC is a little less than the CBD, but I always think of it as like just protecting, like a little bit of a brain protector, and
neuroprotection.
Sure.
Yes. As a matter of fact, CBD and THC have been found in mice. We're not mice, and our brains work differently, obviously, but in mice that they've been reversing Alzheimer's in mice. There's 5 ways that cannabinoids can work in the brain as a neuroprotectant. 1 is neurogenesis, by actually regrowing new brain cells. 2 is working as an anti-inflammatory.
Which is the opposite of what we were told, right? We were all told, kills brain cells.
Like, kill your brain, you stoner.
Killing brain cells. Yeah. And you're like, no, actually, kind of creating brain cells is what I think it's doing.
Yeah, so we have neurogenesis, then we have the anti-inflammatory part, because when we get into dementia and Alzheimer's, inflammation plays a role. It's an anti-inflammatory, then it's an antioxidant, so it's helping get rid of those free radicals, and then on top of that, it gets rid of a process called glutamate excitotoxicity. Glutamate being a excitatory neurotransmitter that's carried away with itself. It starts killing brain cells. That's what happens with all neurodegenerative diseases. Cannabis prevents glutamate excitotoxicity. If I would suggest that if the NFL were allowing a real fast-acting pump bottle of CBD in the locker room when somebody goes in with a concussion protocol, which can destroy brain cells, that you may actually prevent some things from happening down the road.
Yeah, boxing and soccer,
right,
any sport which is getting rattling your head around would be a good idea.
What should a middle-aged man do if dementia runs in his family? What cannabinoid should he be taking prophylactically? Asking for a friend, by the way.
So it goes well beyond cannabinoids. So I would say CBD would be the most appropriate thing right now, because when you're starting to have that issue, it feels uncomfortable for you to be under the influence of THC and forget why you walk in a room where you already got that problem. So I say CBD would be a great way to go. Unless you're having anxiety associated with dementia, then THC can help with that. I mean, irritability, THC can help with that.
So my grandma lived for, she was diagnosed when she was 75 years old, and she passed in our home when she was 98.
Wow.
Okay. And the last year of her life, she lived with us, and she would call me Morris 90% of the time, which is my grandfather.
Muttley.
But I would give her.
She should have called you Muttley. Would have been way more appropriate.
I would give her, 5 or 10 milligram chocolate, and for the next hour and a half, she had a conversation with me. I was David.
I love it.
And it was this, once a day we could have this, sometimes it didn't last 90 minutes, but, when she was under the influence of cannabinoids, whatever the effects of dementia, I'm not saying it happened every time, but they went away, and we had conversations, but
so
most of the time it wasn't that.
With anybody who's concerned about the potential of developing Alzheimer's, which is pretty devastating for that person and families, there's a book called The End of Alzheimer's, written by, his last name is Bredesen. The End of Alzheimer's is a game changer in treating Alzheimer's with nutrition. It's a whole program. I actually took this course because we were treating Alzheimer's patients for a while in my practice, using CBD as part of their treatment, along with other supplements and a whole nutritional lifestyle approach. So it gets really involved with nutrition, with exercise, with other supplements, using cannabinoids. And even Dale Bredesen, who wrote the book, when I took the course with him, I asked him, well, what about cannabinoids? What about CBD for patients? Because he doesn't write anything about CBD or cannabinoids. It has nothing to do with his program. But he says he's checked all the studies that are out there, and he felt that CBD could be a very important nutrient for people to get when they are concerned about that. But you have to have some testing done. ApoE4, the gene for Alzheimer's. If you don't have
her condition was multi-infarct dementia.
Yeah, that's a different, whole different animal. Yes, right.
So, what do you think about medicinal mushrooms? And, I'm sure you're probably getting exposed to that. Lion's mane, reishi, cordyceps, things like that. You do work with that at all, especially with your wife?
We actually because what you just mentioned are mushrooms that are great for immune health.
Yeah, that's what
and we actually have one of our products that we have actually that they make for us is a combination of 4 different immune mushrooms with CBD, because CBD is also found to be very healthy for the immune system. As a matter of fact, this is something which isn't really announced yet because it's still too preliminary. But in Israel, they're doing a head-to-head study of, the reason that there's fewer deaths in the United States from COVID right now is one of the big reasons is a 30% decrease in mortality when using steroids when you're in the hospital. It's one of the things they gave to Trump when he was in the hospital was steroids, vitamin D, and other things. Yeah, I'm with you on that. So basically,
definitely roided up. Definitely got roided up. He was too pumped up. He was like, yeah,
Right?
that's right.
top of the world.
Bomb Iran.
Well, they're doing a head-to-head study in Israel. So there's a 30% decrease in mortality from steroids. In Israel, they're doing a head-to-head study. I don't know how they're using the CBD against CBD, hemp-based. And the preliminary results, pre-print, pre-peer-reviewed, pre-anything, so we can't claim anything yet. But the initial evidence is that it may be 90% decreased mortality by 90%.
Wow.
30%. So if this comes to fruition, I mean, you're talking about a handful of patients so far. It's a very small study initially. But if this comes to fruition, there may be another play because it may affect the cytokine storm that COVID causes.
Interesting. I mean, I feel like if you're keeping your immune system up full steam is your best bet in any way to look at it. And definitely, I've noticed that people who smoke cannabis or consume cannabis, depending on whatever way it is, if they don't drink a lot of alcohol at the same time, if they just cannabis is their main thing, maybe some mushrooms or whatever, but cannabis is the main. Definitely, when you're talking about aging, I feel like I can stand in a room with 10 people and be like, oh, definitely working. I mean, it seems like it's keeping everybody like youthful and their own, I feel like alcohol is probably the most destructive, and that's probably the most widespread, especially when it comes to inflammation and the things that all the things that CBD is good for is kind of like fighting against it the whole time. So,
right. Yeah. So we see a lot of elderly patients, and I totally agree. Youthful in looks and in mind. It's the whole package.
Right. Yeah. If you're open-minded enough. Well, the thing is now, a lot of people are getting, sad but true. There's a lot of people in their, 60s, 70s, 80s trying cannabis for the first time because now it's legal, right? So, unfortunately, it'll definitely help them in the waning years. But it would have been nice to be more of a preventative than trying to fix what's already broken, or
a little late to the party,
right?
Exactly.
And I think if people. Because now, we didn't have access to CBD, and even hemp seeds were like totally only in the last, say, 15 years or something where you could really get shelled hemp seeds and on any kind of consistency, and those kind of things. Once you get them into your diet, you're just like, put them on everything. This is great, and it's just like I feel like CBD and THC and all of these are like lifestyle things, and if you can kind of incorporate it as many different ways as possible into your lifestyle. It might take a while, but it'll actually, at a certain point, you'll start to notice the effects. It's kind of like vitamins or something, where you don't, like you can't take vitamins on a Thursday and then see results on a Monday. That's why I never have I never worked, because every time I get vitamins, I do the exact same thing. I do like a couple of days and then I'm like, I forget about it. I never get to, but with cannabis, it's like I'm religious about it, obviously. So you get those results only by doing it consistently,
Yeah, and CBD is about regular use over time, whereas THC, you have an immediate effect. Mm-hmm. CBD is a gradual effect over time. You talked about COVID and we talked about your immune system. That's all we've got right now, other than me sitting in my man cave seeing patients. We've gone strictly to telemedicine now, and actually we're working with the state legislature right now to help draft a bill to allow telemedicine to be permanent.
This is for to get cards, to get medical cards and stuff. Yeah, because that's been like the kind of like it was
great.
It was already almost like that because a lot of times people barely even interacted while they were in the room together. So it's like, hey, this is a great way to.
Yeah, it's actually been good in a lot of ways because I actually feel like I have a better visit with patients doing a video chat with them. Mm-hmm. We have more time. There's none of the stress of going to an office. They're less stressed out. We're just talking, and we spend a lot more time just talking about a lot of different things, including cannabis, obviously, and use. So I think it's beneficial, but hopefully that'll be more of a permanent thing from now on. But yeah, what we were talking about was immune system, and one of our podcast episodes was very early on when COVID. It was probably April or May when COVID was really crazy back then. Now it's even crazier now.
I was going to say those were the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. So my dog's.
Is that your studio dog? That's your studio dog.
Yeah.
The kid told us that every studio has one, so I guess it's true.
Yeah,
Every good studio.
Every good studio, exactly.
Ooh, that's a burn.
There are some simple things like vitamin D, 5,000 IUs a day. Everybody should be getting their D level up. Plenty of studies are showing that vitamin D decreases the risk of morbidity and mortality with COVID-19. There's zinc and a whole lot of other things. So we talk about that on another episode. But the bottom line is,
what would be be pretty much zinc, vitamin D, and then.
Chris Shea.
Does iodine do anything? Is iodine help in any way, shape, or form?
No, iodine is great when it comes to issues around thyroid. It's not going to do anything for that in particular. Mm-hmm. There's a Chris Shade who came out with the Quicksilver pump bottle we talked about with the CBD earlier. Mm-hmm. He came out with a new line, which is Immune Charge Plus. And what it is, it's all the right combinations. It's got the right amounts of D, C, A, E, K, elderberry. And then there's a little pump bottle of zinc with quercetin. So it has all the compounds that you would need to try to help fight off this virus if you come in contact with it. What we have is our immune system right now. We don't have anything else other than sitting at home in our basement.
And a guard dog.
Right. And a guard dog is probably very hungry right now.
Yeah.
Well, how does someone make an appointment if they wanted to get a hold of you and a medical cannabis patient?
They just go online to holoshealth.org, which is our website, holos.health.org, and then they just make their appointment. And if when it comes time to pay for their appointment, they do it online, right? There's usually a little promo field there. If they enter Done Deal in there, what type of discount would they get by getting a physician's evaluation with you right there? Is it like half price, or could we get at least 10% off? Yeah, I think we can probably work on something like that. I'm going to hook you up, Dave, with our person who does all that kind of stuff, because I don't make those decisions. She'll yell at me.
That is a great political answer right there, Jim.
Yeah, it is a great.
I've known you 10 years.
That is the oldest one in the book.
I would be happy to.
It's the old partner. The old partner. I would love to do it, but my partner, on the other hand,
just a ball buster, man. We'll just crack that whip, and I'll be in so much trouble. And
I'll be in your
Maybe we could ask the doc about our 5280 challenge. What he thinks about it.
Oh yeah, do you want to sit in case we have somebody go down? We can have a doctor in the house. Is there a doctor in the house?
Yeah.
We're doing a 5,280 milligram challenge. We're gonna do.
If they go down.
Wait, Joe. Pay attention to this. Listen to what Adam's going to say here, because I'm breathless with anticipation.
Your
response.
Well, it's going to be good. We're going to do. It's 5,280 milligrams, right? It's going to be divided up amongst us, but we're going to do it in a game show fashion. So whoever goes out first is pretty much out of the race, which will be Dave. I've already guaranteed that one. But so, what is your maximum dosage you've heard of, and what would you? Is there any? There is no real dangerous level. Right? You got to sleep through it. Just got to sleep it off.
You'll pass out and you'll wake up.
There you go. Doctor approved.
Doctor approved.
Completely sanctioned event, I think. We can
sanctioned event.
Completely sanctioned.
This is 100%. Yeah, you'll just go down. Exactly. And we're going to do it in a 12-hour show so that we figure that someone's got to go down in 12 hours. So we'll see.
Wow.
You're invited. You're invited, though, 100%.
Oh yeah, I'll probably have to pass because your wife can
participate if she likes.
My knee injury right now. My knee injury. I have a brace on my knee, and
my brace on his knee.
Is
the old brace on the knee excuse.
That's right, 5 and 5. CBD and THC. 5 and 5 is my dose, so I'm a lightweight. I could never make your challenge.
5 and 5, like 5 milligram and 5 milligram.
That's all I need.
No, that's not going to work out. You have 1,000 to go. You have,
It would take you 90 days.
yeah, we've only got 12 hours, so it's going to be a tough one.
Good luck. You will wake up.
Yeah, there you go. You will exactly, and
Yeah,
Matt,
Dave.
you'll miss
fine,
it. You'll
Dave.
probably miss at least a day or so. Usually, you need to go that like once you get to that 24. Once you get to a certain point, you're like you just got to go another 12 hours. 'Cause-
Mark and I were talking about this before the show. I asked him honestly, tell me what's the most milligrams you've eaten in a sitting, and he said 1,000 when he went to a Tower of Power concert. I ate 500 once. It was actually a 500 from Canyon Cultivation. I ate 500 milligram capsules, and I was fucking stoned. I mean, I was
I'll
really
have to say,
fucking
I'll have to
stoned.
say though, I did get a little nervous because last week when we had the I was just eating a few of those things.
I had max 50, 60 milligrams.
I didn't have more than, and I was like, I'm feeling it. I was
Yeah,
like, Jesus
me
Christ.
too.
Okay, so that means if I'm feeling 50 already, I was like, wow, maybe I
lightweight.
maybe I overspoke myself. No, I can do it. I've done it. Not 5,000, but I've done enough to unregisterable amounts. I've just said to the point. I've not maxed myself out. Where I haven't done it for so long because I had this long gap where I didn't do any edibles because it was just like I had done it. I'd done enough. But I think
So if I
No,
if I did 50, it'd be like you doing 5,000. It'd be the same feeling.
oh God.
you're welcome to the. I think we need you on the show. Then that sounds like a show in itself, right there.
Well, no, we don't need you to partake in the edibles with us. We need you to be the medical supervisor.
We'll have you on speed. We're
just
going to have you on speed dial.
just
So if you get a call,
non-medical person, you won't be Dr. Joe. You'll be just Joe.
If you get-
okay, you'll wake up. Don't worry about it.
if you get the same call that those two cops called when they called in. If you get that call, like
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah. I
I'm
need you-
dead.
Can you
Everything
come,
is
Joe,
gone.
yeah,
Everybody,
come get me, please.
Yeah.
Please make it stop.
That would
Make
be
it
awesome.
stop.
That would be good. That would be good. I'm down. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just happy that we're a sanctioned event now. That's all I know. So, thanks for that, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. You appreciate the years of friendship, buddy. Thank you so much. No problem. I'll be fine, by the way, just in case you were worried. I'll be okay. Don't you worry.
So, did you get the link up on the thing already?
Yeah.
Okay, it's good. So the link is there. We're gonna start sending people your way. Anything,
right.
anything else we got to cover, Dave? What'd you think?
No, nobody make an appointment until the done deal works so we can track
All right,
everything.
done deal work.
Did we forget anything?
Did I hear 10% or what did I hear? Did I
I
hear?
think it was 30%.
At least
actually.
10%.
30%.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 33.
No, we're not
33.
greedy. Just something special for the fans of the Adam Dunn show would be most appreciated.
I mean,
We're
so
built-
we meet in the middle.
Yeah, we're built.
What's that?
Meet in the middle. I like that. 15%. Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Shake on it.
Was that 20? Well, shook. Done. Closed. Well, because we do list the higher the done deal, the higher up on the website you'll be.
Yeah,
you're gonna want it.
right now. It's fish shit at the top of the list. Top of the list.
Yeah, do you grow any plants at home?
No. I live in a little patio home and
No, I don't mean cannabis, but I mean any herb garden or anything like that.
no, I don't have a garden. We live in a
Well, if you did, you should use some fish shit and New Millennium nutrients because they're good stuff right there.
very good.
Thanks
Well,
for your time,
guys,
Joe.
Hey man,
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
have to get rolling here because
Yep, dog's hungry. I know.
Yeah, feed that dog. Take it for a walk or something.
It's good talking to you. And if you got
Thank you.
anything coming out you want to talk about, just come on, give Dave a heads up, and we'll get you on
All
the show
right,
then.
I will. I'd like to come back.
We could have Dr. Mark versus Joe. We could have a battle, the battle of the doctors. I don't know what they would do.
They probably get along really
They
well.
wouldn't battle at all. That's the sad part. It'd be like, Dr. Mark.
You know Dr. Mark Bronstein.
Oh, I know Mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you've had. Yeah, we refer to Mark for different patients that, say, oh, I've attempted suicide in the past. Oh, we're going to send you to Dr. Mark before we give you your cannabis card.
Right.
Right.
So if you want,
Good
so
advice.
if you're
Sound advice.
you're like, boom.
Right.
All right, my friend.
All right. Well, you take care. Thanks for
Be
having
well.
me. And
Peace.
we'll do this again.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And we'll get you some. We're gonna get you. I'm gonna do some cross promotion because I know that Tu would love to send your wife some products from his TSK line. So I will get your address from Dave, and then I'll have them send you some killer CBD products.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. Take care, man.
Nice. Like how I just make Tu give away stuff, but yeah. Well, he's gonna be in my chat gang trying to make sales. You see him hustling
Yeah.
out there. He's like, yo, I'm the
I
guy.
just picked up some mango hemping.
Did you? Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's good
The
stuff.
blueberry,
man.
the blueberry and the mango. Man. Those are the shit.
Yeah.
The
Fingers
mango.
out of the
I don't have any
blueberry.
hempen.
Well,
I want some hempen.
you better hit it up.
Oh, no hemp
Tu.
for you.
I need some hempen.
My parents wanted some, so I got them a bottle.
It's good shit.
I got us a big box of True Pure they sent me. So I have tinctures for you guys. I have salve, pain cream,
I'll stop by in the
salve.
morning tomorrow.
Yep. Bath salts for those of you who want to get high and punch glass,
That's what we're talking
and
about.
some chocolate. No, it's the bath salt for your bath, not the drug.
I put the bath salts in my volcano. I'm just kidding.
No,
Just
you
messing.
Now we're talking Tu's language right there. You mean. Bath salts? Oh,
No, I'm excited for your bath salts. Yeah.
are you now?
Sweet.
Take a soak, man. CBD soak, man.
CBD
I know.
soak.
So, yeah, he's really cool. I like Joe. Nice guy.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Really good guy. He's one of the OGs, man, since the beginning.
Since the beginning, back in time, since the beginning of time.
Well, no,
the old-
at first you didn't know what was going to happen.
Uh-huh.
You were risking your license. They were threatening doctors all the time for shit. I mean, it was the craziest stuff. So,
But there was also the times when there was both sides of the spectrum. There was the like, yo, doctor's in the house, and then you'd be like, all right, dude, you're kind of over. Like, at least look at them. At least talk to them. Like there were some guys that were overdoing it. You know what I mean? And there was a little of that. I feel like the medical thing, it needs to be taken seriously, but at the same time, they know, okay, 92% of the people are not really necessarily need to be here. They're just there because they want to get their thing. And it's true, but it's because
wait. I disagree with that because
no,
they put
they
severe
don't kn-
pain on the thing. So
yeah.
that's
Well.
severe pain. The state put it on the form.
All
It's
right,
one of the qualifying conditions.
Maybe I'm getting a little crazy with my percentages, but in general, a high percentage of the people that are there, obviously are just trying to get weed and access to weed, which is because that was the first door open.
Nothing wrong with it.
100% nothing wrong with it. But at the same time, it would be nice if it was like you didn't have to go through those steps. So then the real actual medical patients would do it, get taken care of properly, and then get their shit for free, like we always say.
I showed the form to a friend of mine who is a physician, and he accused me of photoshopping the form. This is in 2008. Okay. He said, there's no fucking way this is a real form. So I went to the website with him to show him where it was. He could not believe it because it used to read, as a duly certified physician of Colorado, it is in my opinion that cannabis might help alleviate this patient's symptoms. And he's like, there's no liability in this whatsoever. What am I saying? It might work.
Right.
So that was the wink and the nod. There were places like Relaxed Clarity that used to just probably see 200-300 patients a day. Right. There was even a time where they had physician's assistants sign the forms and everybody got rejected. And they had to go see another physician and get it, corrected. And you're right. It took 11 months, November of 2010. If you got your card, you didn't get it until almost 2012.
Oh, I know.
That was just crazy.
Right.
So it's come a long way. So now you can do a tele visit.
And get it on,
no
and
excuse.
then print your shit up. Boom, done.
Yep.
But before
No
all
excuse.
that, back in the day, the only way you could smoke weed like that was to go to Amsterdam, right?
Right.
And today literally would have been the day when I would have been so fucking tired, but at the same time relieved because it was the day after the cup.
Oh, this cannabis cup.
And I would have been sitting in my shop. There's a really funny video online of me on that day, and my other friend is videotaping me, and I'm all sour and pissed off, and then High Times got really mad at me for it because I basically was like, yeah, if I had 50 grand, I could have won, you know. And they were like, why are you saying that? You can't. What are you saying?
Because it's the truth.
And I was like, well, it's kind of true. Like, it wasn't really like no one ever actually said, give me the money like that. But it was more like, oh, you throw the party, you do the this, and you do that, and then you boop boop, and it ends up costing you 50 grand. So anyway, I was all sour and bitter, but it's funny because it's online still to this day. And sometimes I'll watch it just to see myself in a pissed off mood, and I'll be like, there he is, Adam, the day after the cup. He was really, I hadn't won nothing that year. It was one of those years where it was like, yeah, we didn't win shit. But, you know, that's the way it was. But anyway, this day would be kind of a like awesome day because in my brain I'd be thinking like, dude, I have 360 days to get my shit together for next time because I fucked up. Because I'd always be like trying to like outdo myself from the year. Like if we won something, well then I had to go. You know, the next year we have to win to keep the momentum going. And if I didn't win, which is, you know, there's years we didn't win. It's not we didn't win every year because they really kind of like you saw the thing. Like it was like that the New Kid in Town song. You know, you were like, oh, the new kids are going to win now. I know it. And then they win. Boom. Oh, the new kids won. You know, so that's how it all went. And you were like, oh, now we're the old guy. Now we weren't even the old guys then. We were just the last. We're the last year's story. Those guys, the kids. At one time we were the boys. You know what I mean? And then now we're the old men. But in general, on this day,
that's Adam Dunn over there. Remember when he used to be cool?
He used to be young. And actually, I sent you a photo. Pull it up.
Yep.
This is a photo from Andre, who's going to be coming on the show, and he sent me a photo of me and Ace because everybody wants Ace on the show. So, pull that up, and that was, look at that. CIA. Wow. See the little that's the counter of the CIA. There's the hemp plants growing behind me. Behind that, there's a little grow in the corner, and that was my little haven in Amsterdam. So that was like 1994 probably, because it looks pretty established. In 93 I moved in. 94 we had our shit together. 95 we got kicked out. That's about how long that shit lasts. Like, get the fuck out of here with your shit. But yeah, it was pretty funny because Andre sent me this photo and I was like, damn, I look young, but I was like, my God, Ace looks super young.
Holy shit, now I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
Right? And no, it was pretty funny. So there's Ace. And then, but she was younger than me in that photo. Oh, don't pull all the photos up.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for him.
I didn't know.
I just wanted to show that one.
All right. Well, there we go.
Because I don't know what he's going to pull up later. I want to kind of ease into it for Andre. But this is an Andre Grossman photo. Look, a beautiful photo, right? Perfecto. I was like, man, why didn't I've never seen it. I've never seen it before. He just pulled it out of his memoirs. But anyway, there you go. Now look at me. I'm all grizzled and old.
Oh, man.
It's kind of funny because I remember, you know, when you're that age, you're like thinking about wonder how I'm going to look when you get old. And now you're like, I wonder how I used to look when I was a kid. Like you look at a photo, you're like, damn. Anyway, so that was me starting that was me starting. I know we're like twins, right? That was like literally where we were crossing over. Like my mom still looked young enough, and people would be like, is that your sister?
Yeah, right.
Like, no.
That's funny.
Nope.
So anyway, Cannabis Cup every year, and this day I realized I had a whole year to sort of do what I had. You know, I was going to outdo what I did last year, and then when I was thinking about the cup, because I started to notice everybody posting. We saw Pinsky posting, trying to, you know, get in there with his 1994. Look at me, I was there, but in general. You know, I saw Ben Dronkers posting some stuff, and everybody's kind of because it really was a cool thing. It was stressful as hell because you knew you were riding the line every year because it was like the Dutch didn't really know what was going on. You were kind of just like, oh yeah, we're gonna go do this thing and don't worry about it. And then all of a sudden they'd be like, oh, you guys are crazy because, you know, even though they smoke weed in Holland, nobody smokes weed like during the cup. Like it was, you know, like you see. The amount of cannabis being bought and sold and smoked and in every shop was like triple or quadruple of normal, and the shops are all tiny and they can't, you know, deal with the space. So it was a lot stress for everybody. Like everybody was so happy when it was over. Like you'd go like, but at the same time, you want to be busy, right? So they love the idea of it, but then the reality kicked in of like, now it's like that in Holland because there's less coffee shops, more tourists, and it's like Cannabis Cup every day when you go to like the Domkring. You know, you walk in and it's just a line out the door, and there's not enough room. And I can't even imagine now with fucking social distancing on. It must be ridiculous because you couldn't barely fit in there before. But anyway, I was thinking about guests. I was thinking about doing something about the cup, and then I was like, but if you're going to do it, you got to do it. And then the other day I was like, wait a minute. I'd really love to talk to Andre, because Andre Grossman, who's our next guest coming up in about 10 minutes or so, Andre used to be like he was like the first guy, because he'd be the photographer coming out with Hager, pretty much. It'd be those two guys on their own, maybe one other person coming out. And it'd be like, oh shit, it's starting already. Here's Andre, you know what I mean? And but my whole thing was like, he was such a good photographer, and he had, he'd been working with High Times since the early 80s. So pretty much all the centerfolds, you'd probably have a good majority, because there was a few other photographers. It wasn't like he took every photo, of course. And what was High Times really known for? It was known for the centerfold, and it was known that they had, and those were always set up shots. Those were never like, maybe a few, but most of them were like, real professional photographers. So it was cool when I met him. I realized that Andre is like a professional photographer before he's a cannabis photographer, because he got access to all this weed through High Times. And it was also during the time period when it was like, not like everybody had a fucking phone with 14 megapixels or whatever. It was like,
right?
You had to have a real equipment, and it was all analog, and we were like barely in the digital age of photography at that point. In the early 90s, it was like there was still that people were producing real film at the time. And so I'd always like try to get as many things together as I could, like scramble things together. Oh yeah, take a photo of this, because I didn't have, and it was like, so it was kind of interesting.
My babies.
Yeah, and it was like he sent some photos, which we'll show during the show. But there's like, right away, it's like I'm looking at the photo, but I'm actually looking at the buds in the photo. Like, damn, look at the fucking bubble gum, looks amazing. Like it's like, and it's the one, it's the fucking original right there. So it's it's pretty cool. And Andre got to do that when it was so underground, and he was also like, he was there the first year, the first cup that we did, which was not the first cup, it was sixth cup, but it was our first one. And we'll talk about it during the show, but he was there for all the back door, counting all the votes, and it was a fucking craziness. So we'll get into all that.
Is he still having trouble? Because I was able to jump in with the link.
No, just with but you had to do the password, right?
No.
Okay.
With that link,
Just
you
click
should
the
just
Zoom
enter
link.
All right, let me just check. Let's see. I told him 6, so.
Oh.
Cindy, you were talking about seeing yourself on videos and everything. There was a little funny thing. I can't remember if it was 93 or 94 Cannabis Cup video that came out.
Oh, it's 94. Yeah.
So it was Soma, was living in Eugene, growing herb. And I was blessed for, I want to say a year and a half, 2 years of smoking just killer Soma herb back in the day. Then he had that issue with the cops, left the country. No one knew what the hell happened to him. We're like, man, did they lock him away someplace? What's going on? And then they showed the video of the Cannabis Cup. And, there's Soma just walking right past the camera. So, that's
Hold on one
that
second.
was a moment in time where all of Eugene just went, all right, he's alive. Woohoo. Uh-oh, it's the Dave show. He's gone.
It's the Dave show.
Where is he?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, this is where Adam's having to call him to say, let me tell you how to get your Zoom working,
Right?
and I'll get you on.
You got to love that.
You do, but I play a good second fiddle. I don't know if I want all the air to myself, but that in that time, seeing Soma walk across the screen, that's like the and now back to your regularly scheduled programming. This is not a test. Get back in here, Adam. Douche.
Yep.
Dun 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 dun.
So what exactly is that Mac Daddy that you had over there?
Mac Daddy is Mac by DJC.
Oh wow.
And
And then just to review the DJC, what's the
DJ is The Truth by Deadhead OG.
okay.
So that's Cookies by Deadhead OG by Truth.
Wow. So that must be like even super like pioneer.
It is the shit.
Yeah, because
You'll see tomorrow. and
regular
you'll get it on
DJC tastes like grapefruit peels to me. Do you agree with that? Or is that just
there.
me?
I don't disagree with you. It's a fantastic easy smoke that I could smoke all day. And it's funny, I can see on the YouTube thing, this is right when you hold up that that silhouette of Adam.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
But listen, I enjoyed having Dr. Joe on the show. I've known him probably 10 years or so. Got one of my first MMJ cards from him. He was always easy to talk to. He has helped in my family on autoimmune disease and nutrition, and him preaching the gluten-free lifestyle is something he's said for a long time, even before it was sort of cliche to be gluten-free.
Yeah, for sure.
So the guy's the shit. So make an appointment with him, and you won't have a problem in regards to being able to feel like you can communicate to a doctor and not have them talk down to you or ridicule you.
And if you want to hear more
guy.
about from Mark too, we had his show on the network for a little while there.
We'll have him back.
Medical-
I've interacted with him recently. He's super busy. I mean, it's crazy busy right now. You know, he owns his medical business, his cannabis business. It's there's no free time for him right now. What are you smoking there?
Let's see. This is a mix of. No, this is just sage and sour.
That's not a mix. That's a good strain.
That is just a straight. Yeah.
I've been really blessed the last week or so. I've had no, I can't even see where my jar is. Here it is. JW from Green Farms. Oh my goodness. Guys, if you like organic cannabis, I can't even begin to tell you how on fire his strains are right now.
Yeah.
And even when I spoke to him today and I was giving him a compliment on how good it was, he said, it's even gotten better. So
Nice,
they're
dude.
having big specials down there. I think I might have to drive down to Colorado Springs and pick up another couple of ounces.
Hell yeah! I know Apothecary's having a big old Black Friday sale too all weekend.
I saw that.
Yeah.
What is that special? What was that?
Oh, okay.
We're getting news. Breaking
You might have
news.
to get another download another browser. Are you open it up in a different browser? Safari.
Oh, this is
or-
technical problems. See, you know what? I thought the one guy that was going to give us the most Zoom problem was Dr. Joe. So I asked him to do a sound check with us at 3:30. Oh, this is brilliant. Adam walked away. Now Mark walked away, and it's the Dave show all by himself. Uh-oh. But here's a product I love too. So his tincture that JW makes. Oh. Holy moly. I can't recommend this enough. A dropple full of this relieves any anxiety of the day. Gone under the tongue. All right, let's look in the chat room. Who's in the chat room?
Sorry, dude.
Mike Denver. Hey,
I was just saying how it's all
Adam.
analog, it's old school and analog, and then it doesn't work on the Zoom chat.
We can give him a phone number.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the.
Our number or a different number?
Nope.
You have a different number.
Yeah, it's
All
a
right,
different number. Although, I think you can just call the Skype and it would be fine.
which is our classic.
Yeah.
All right. What is it? 721.
No, then he won't be able to hear
721
me.
237. What?
237.
Okay, he doesn't matter. He doesn't.
if he comes in on there,
No, you can. Everyone. Remember, we figured it out. Everyone can be heard.
okay,
Yeah. So.
got it.
So okay.
Tales from the Road. So there was this one time in Hampton,
Just
Virginia,
won't have his video.
1989. Grateful Dead was playing as the Warlocks,
Yeah.
October 8th and 9th. We drove down from Syracuse. We're 19. I'm 19 years old. We drove, I don't know, I think it took us 14 hours. Shouldn't have taken us that long. And this is so early in my Grateful Dead understanding of the ticket universe. Then when we got there, they had tickets available for Monday, but not for tonight, Sunday. So we each bought our Monday ticket, not thinking, fuck, should have just bought an extra Monday to trade for a Sunday.
There we go. Back
But
to
I
the
got
old
in
school.
anyway.
Back to the old school.
Hey.
Hey, Andre.
Thank you,
okay.
Tony.
Okay.
It's,
I mean,
this is fine.
I have the
this is fine.
Zoom app going. Huh?
This is fine. Don't worry about it. We
Sound fine.
We can do this call. This is it. We're live. You're live.
Yeah,
You're here. You're
we just
live.
got your audio, and
We
that's
just
all we
got you
need.
on audio, and I got those photos you sent, so we can run through those. And if you got anything else, you can send them to that email address I sent you, and we are all chill. Then you don't have to worry about your makeup. That's one thing. You don't have to, makeup's not
Oh, I see.
necessary.
You're just using the audio right now.
Yeah, we're just going to go audio. We're going to go, like I was saying, it was funny because as we were having our technical difficulties, I was explaining how you were coming, when you would come to Amsterdam and take photos, none of us had like high res cameras or anything. So we were like super stoked to get photos of our weed. And so I'd always have like something to try to get something for you to take a photo of it. Oh, Andre's coming quick. What do we got? And then as I'm explaining that you're old school and analog, we couldn't get the fucking new school shit to work. So proved our point, I guess. Welcome to the show,
Yeah,
Andre.
well,
Let me
Nice
give
to meet you, Andre.
Andre Grossman.
Thank
40 years in New York. Now here in Colorado. He's here. He's in the state, so we're
Yep.
gonna get to hang out. When Dave's allowed out of his house, you can come meet Dave. He's still.
I'm
trapped.
allowed out of my house. I just choose not to interact with society right now.
It's all right. It's all right. And but Andre's down south in the southern part of the state there. Couple years. You've been here what, 2 years now?
In the state of Colorado, I've only been 4 months.
Oh, 4 months. What am I saying? You came here 2 years ago, right, for the first time, or something like that, or
Yeah, 2 years ago, I checked out for the first time whether I could go here altogether,
gotcha.
because you remember that I'm like full albino, and then I was laughing because you remembered that and said like how Andre Grossman in southern Colorado,
Right.
like where it's always sunny as crazy, it's like 2 rainy days a year or something,
Right. No, I know. You were in your element. You were in your element in Amsterdam. That was like, whoa, this is it. It's gray and cloudy every day. This place is great.
day.
Like, and that was funny
Yeah.
because it wasn't even me. It was my mom. I told my mom that you were going to
Yeah.
be on the show, and she's like, Andre in Colorado? He didn't like the
Yeah,
sun
that's
very much. He
funny.
couldn't go in the sun, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's true." So that was her remembering. But it's a beautiful state, and I guess as a photographer, it must be awesome to come here because you can look at it from different. I mean, you're coming out of New York, so you've taken enough photos of cities and cityscapes and man-made things, and then you come to Colorado, and it's all this beauty and nature. So you've been embracing that a bit, or
No, I'm stoked. I was thinking a lot about that, whether this would become a problem because it is so sunny here. But I managed for 40 years in New York to stay out of the sun. The sun in New York is intense too. But here, after 40 years in New York, I, really also kind of needed to get out and try something else. And my whole life, I thought, it'd be nice to be living somewhere outside of a city or something. I couldn't really manage this to find something in North New York or something like this, or on the East Coast. But had some family connections, so I made it out here to New York. We have it pretty good here now compared to New York. I had like $30,000 rent a year in New York and that kind of stuff. That's like all different here now and stuff. And I do like, the nature is cool. I ride a motorcycle, the roads are cool, and the light is incredible here.
Right.
You just go for the morning and evening light, and then it's fine. And I'm, of course, excited about being in a state where it's all legal, and it's been legal here for a while, and I know nothing about it really.
Oh, I'm so
I haven't.
I can't wait to. I can't wait. I mean, like I was saying, I was like, damn, I wish I'd known you were around like a couple of months, like just when we were before harvest time, because you'd be like a kid in a candy store. And this one, I mean, my friend's field was
Yeah.
not so big, but amazing.
sure.
Like it was, I think it was 15 acres, but it was like 15 beautiful acres, and there was just amazing shots all around. So, we'll get you into some good spots. That's not a problem. So you were so I was explaining a little bit at the beginning. You're like, I guess you would call it classically trained photography, or what was your back before you got into cannabis photography? You went to school for give me a little background.
Yeah, photojournalism. I wanted to started to take pictures sort of in my late teens. I had some friends that were professional photographers. I was really into it, and then I tried to dabble with it on my own for a while, and but after a while made a decision I need to go to a school and learn it properly, and then do what I like to do with it. I got into a really good school in Germany where they had a really good journalism teacher. It just, unfortunately, I was at that school for about a year, and then that teacher passed away, and they only had this sort of the studio photography, the tabletop photography and stuff, and fashion. And I was interested in journalism, so I just kind of started to, I had an opportunity to go work for an American photographer in Pennsylvania in 1981.
Wow.
And was invited to go there to be this guy's black and white darkroom photo printer. And I got rid of all my stuff in Germany.
It's funny because like 81
moved.
is like, it's still the 70s technically, right? Because it's just like, if you think about it, when you like, it's just barely into the
Right,
80s.
The 80s hadn't begun yet.
Yeah, barely into the 80s. And so you can imagine just like the culture clash of Germany and Pennsylvania might be a little bit interesting. How was so you went? Did you go? So you went straight to that job, or from Germany, or you had a sort of
pretty
apprentice
much.
job?
I got rid of all my stuff in Germany and hopped on a standby
How
flight
old
to
were
New
you at the
York
time?
from Amsterdam.
How old were you?
I was 26 at that time.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I had a place to stay overnight in New York, but right away went to Grand Central, to Port Authority, jump on a bus to Pennsylvania. And then I just started my job as a printer there, and on weekends would go to New York to check it out, from a safe distance, and go on the weekend, come back.
Was it
After about
were you in Amish?
2
Were you in
years
like an
working-
Amish? Were you in an Amish area of Pennsylvania by any chance, or because that'd be kind of a really extra culture clash, right? You come in from Germany. You're
Yeah,
like,
no, I don't know. It's definitely like in the Near East in Pennsylvania. I mean, the Amish country is like half an hour from where I was.
Uh-huh.
But
that's some good photography.
No, this was definitely but the mix in the country, the guy had a really good photo lab and stuff. So, and I learned a lot of stuff from him. He's a pretty good photographer, and he did like social documentary type of photography. He had a one-man show in the Museum of Modern Art. He was fairly famous in that scene of the sort of modern art photography type.
Nice.
I liked, he's kind of we liked VG and Diane Arbus and stuff. And so after a couple of years of this, I started to then work for some German magazines, German news magazine. I had a lot of jobs and stuff, and over the year, and journalism went okay for a while because it was pretty good day rate,
like a Spiegel kind of thing or something, or was it a famous magazine or?
The news magazine I worked for was the Der Spiegel magazine. That's
Spiegel.
a well-known news magazine.
That's right.
And
That's right.
they did like a little-
That's the only magazine I knew. I was like the Spiegel one. Yeah, exactly. It's the only thing I've ever heard
Or
of from.
Stern magazine was
Oh,
the other
Stern, yeah,
magazine,
yeah, true.
but I never made it into like that. I became really successful as a photojournalist for these magazines and stuff. I started to go a lot to the clubs in New York then, and started to photograph there. I like music, so photograph a lot of whatever the East Village garage rock scene and stuff like this. And I was into photographing the breakdancing scene, the hip hop thing a bit. That's where I then eventually met Steve Hager, who became later the editor of High Times magazine. And through this guy, who was a journalist writer, he said, bring these photos, maybe we can use them in the High Times magazine. And then I slowly started with the High Times magazine. I think my first job, they used one photo on a quarter page and I got $50 or something. But I was kind of, because I had learned the photography to do with these high quality cameras. And then I started aiming those cameras at, with a more, with a good lighting or something, use strobe lighting and stuff, that you get sharp images. And the guys that would publish photos in High Times magazine were more professional growers than professional photographers or something. So the photos improved a bunch when we were using these higher resolution cameras for photos. So then,
and that was around 81 or something like that, or what year was that?
Yeah, I mean, like probably I would say like towards 85 at that
later,
time.
even later. Okay.
And then I don't know, the Cannabis Cups, when did they start in Amsterdam? Like in 88, 89?
Yeah, 88, maybe something like that. Because ours was the 6th, and that was in 93, so it'd be 87, I guess. 87.
Right,
something
right.
Like that. Yeah.
You know. And
did you go on all
soon
those? Did you go on all those first trips with Steve and do the photography? Or was that your job, or did you?
Not
no.
I think I didn't go on the. I think I went on the third trip where one of the writers of High Times, his name is Steve Bloom. He was sort of a music writer, and he
Steve
went
was
to,
awesome. Actually, I love Steve.
Him and I alone went to Amsterdam and did this thing, where was a homegrown fantasy. It's this coffee shop I remember.
Yeah.
And then the CIA.
I love that
guys
place. That
and
was
stuff.
the first place I got stoned in Amsterdam.
It was my favorite place, and Hank introduced me to Alan, and then Alan hired me over at the Sensi. So that was like definitely Homegrown Fantasy was like the hub for a long time for all the right
Well,
people.
technically, it was our first unmemorable meeting.
Exactly.
I don't know if we ever met, but we realized we spent
We were in the same room
the night
together.
listening to
We could have caught
Jack
COVID
talk.
off each other. We were that close.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we were that close.
that close. Well, we should have joined.
Exactly. But
Yeah, that was amazing how with the whole prohibition thing in the USA, and then you come to Amsterdam and you have people like these from Homegrown Fantasy who were actually really friendly to us and
Yep.
opened their doors and kind of played along with this Cannabis Cup game.
well, we had the thing. What I noticed because so Dion had actually gone to the 5th cup. So I guess did you come to that cup, the 5th one, the one before the one we did?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So
You know,
you
when
it was
he-
more of a dinner. It was like a dinner, right? It was like a big dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so what happened was at that dinner, I think Dion hatched kind of the concept like that we could do this better. Like he was like, we could do better. And then Chris Conrad asked him, because they asked Chris Conrad to do it, and Chris was like, I don't know how to do anything like that. But the boys over at the CIA, and then we just basically, we created that just for that. We almost custom molded it for that event. But
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, we were like, well, we could do this, and then we got the space, and then we turned CIA because CIA we opened. So we started in July, got the lease in July, had August, September, October, and then we had the cup in November. So we had like 4 months to put it together. That's why it was kind of like ragtag, when you got there. It was like, okay,
And,
we didn't quite have it.
Okay, which year?
That-
Which year was that? No,
That was 93. That was 93.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
And you were, and like again, you were definitely one of the first guys I met, because you had come with the crew, and so like I remember Steve demanding he wanted ice for drinks for chips enough.
That's what his rider
Yeah,
said.
I need ice, and I was like, ooh, ice is really hard to get in Amsterdam because it is. It's like one of those things you just don't get ice, right? They don't. Dutch are like, what? We drink warm beer. We don't care. Like, it's not a thing, right? You don't. Like, maybe now it is, but back in the day, it was like to get ice was like, ooh, that's gonna be tough. Anyway,
That's a funny. Yeah.
and he demanded ice, and I remember Doug going like, forget about it, and then he wanted security for Sebastian Bach because Sebastian Bach was coming in from whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then he got there and nobody cared because we're like a bunch of celebrities. Like we're like, you're like, you want to hire security for who? Like for what? For this guy? I was like, nah, I don't think you need security.
That's ridiculous.
And then I remember Steve made us do a circle. Like we all had to hold hands and get in a circle. And then we all kind of went, oh, dude, I don't know. This cup's getting kind of weird already. And then we were like looking at, I remember me and Doug looking at each other like, what's going on, dude? We're in a cult. I think we're in a cult, cannabis cult. Yeah. I mean, I had Steve on the show. And it's kind of funny because, him and I definitely butted heads over the years. I think just because he's got that kind of personality that he's gets challenged, I'm sure, a lot in life, but you had to travel with him and work with him. And so you kind of saw from, I'm sure, like High Times was definitely one of those operations where it was a dream for a lot of people to work with them, but then they kind of like, they had a lot of fallout, put it that way. They had a lot of people come in, work. And then,
definitely.
And then kind of, man, things aren't working. Did you work there? What was the last year that you worked there? Because
Well, or
you still do.
just so that everybody understands this, I was always like a freelancer. I was never employed by High Times or something. So
Right.
every time, I did most of the photos on my own and stuff, and then they would pay per printed page,
Nice.
per
Good.
printed cover, per printed centerfold. We did have to sign contracts with them that had a small print on the bottom of the page that says we're for like $45.07. Basically, you would sign away all the rights to your photos or something, while you
Oy.
kind of
In small print,
produce
in
them and stuff.
microprint, in
But what
microprint. By the way,
What we would always
yeah.
we would you wouldn't get paid unless you signed this contract. But what we did is we crossed out the small print on the bottom of page and then signed it, and then you would get paid and nobody would discuss that you crossed out this small print.
I like it.
and
I like
Oh,
So-
got it.
on point. You're like,
Yep.
no, I refuse. Well,
I
that's,
got a question for you. There was an episode, an issue once, and I'm wondering if you were the photographer, where they met the collector in New York.
Yeah.
They drove to his, they wore a mask. I remember the story. Yeah, they had to put masks on, get in a van, drive to wherever they were, and I still see the picture in my head. It was probably 150 different strains, because I always had the dream of saving one nug from every bag I got, but it was feast or famine, and you wound up smoking it all, and I never had enough steady cannabis to be able to save any of it, and that really stuck with me. Were you the photographer on that shoot?
Where they've piled up all these samples in these little glass jars, yes.
but
Well, that's something.
yeah,
No,
in New York though.
yeah, it
was
would have
the
been.
shoot in New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
that was
It
me,
would have been a shoot in New York. He would have been the collector, and
Yeah.
it it was
That's funny.
something else.
So back in the day, you had to do a lot of that, right? Where you either blindfolded or wear a mask or whatever.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. I mean, the story with the collector, I don't know if there was any blindfolding action going on there. Not
They told
with
it in
me
the
because-
story.
They
whether
probably,
or
they
not
probably
they
made
said
it.
for
They may have done it to
embellishment.
a little embellishment, make it sound a little more exciting than it really was, right?
right.
Yeah, no. Well, like I did it at another occasion where we were in the Catskills, going to a grower, and that grower wanted us to wear ski masks for the last couple miles to his place, and we complied. It was just weird because I said I had the mask on for a couple of minutes. I said, like, I'm going to throw up if I can't see where we're going. But yeah.
Because now, what's funny because nowadays it's like people are just, nobody really seems to care anymore, and people don't even turn off they don't even turn off their location service on their phone when they take photos of their plants. You're like, you may want to do that at least. You don't need to give them everything. You don't have to metadata the entire photo, the location and everything.
Yeah, but it's a little different than taking a photo and then keeping them on film for a while and then getting enough nerve to go to a photo mat and thinking you took 3 different buses to get home, and then you're busted.
No, I mean,
did you ever have any issues back?
No, there was a real threat, of course, but somehow I remember one thing that we felt like, or we said like, we're journalists for High Times magazine, and we're going to these places and we're doing photojournalism here and stuff. And should anything be going down, we are going to use this as our defense that journalism needs to be free and stuff, and that just in case we're running into a problem. I mean, sometimes it felt pretty dicey. I remember one time we were driving to Ohio in also like early 90s, and some guy had a really
Sounds dangerous already.
field.
Sounds dangerous already. Early 90s, going through Ohio. Yeah, you're getting in trouble. Like right there.
Yeah, no, and this was literally where you're sitting on a place where it's like hundreds of pounds or something, where then, and the guy, they had arms there, they had like guns and rifles and stuff. So we stayed in that place for 3 days in Ohio there. And once we hit the road to go back with all the pictures taken and stuff, we were going like, phew, like, I'm glad I'm out of there. It was kind of tense at points and stuff, When they started shooting guns there next to the field just for fun, shooting at squirrels and stuff, I was thinking like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
But now this is like, it's all different. The best photos are taken by people who are in these situations like you were describing. You were 2 months ago in a perfect 10-acre field and stuff. You'd never seen that yourself, and then I'm sure you get good pictures with your with your phone,
Right. I mean, it must be. Well, I mean, it's frustrating, I guess, as far as like not being able to maybe pursue the same sort of thing with the same vigor, but it's also cool that you got a chance to do stuff back when nobody was doing. Like there was probably such a small group of people that were taking like professional, like they weren't like you were saying before, there was a lot of good growers who took photos of their plants, and maybe they might have been a few that actually took good photos of their plants, but for the most part it was like, yeah, you better stick to growing. Photography might not be your thing. Yeah. But nowadays everything's so much more plug and play, and phones have such high capabilities, and if somebody actually really wanted to, they could invest a lot less money to get a lot more equipment and be able to pull off some pretty amazing shots. But when you were doing it, one of the things Dave was mentioning was like getting it developed. You had to develop all your own pictures, I'm assuming, because nobody's going to, or did you have people who understood that you were taking photos of other, for professional reasons and would do it for you?
Yeah, I mean, in New York City, you would get the film developed in one of the big professional labs, and there were dozens and dozens of them. And they were keen to get your business, and they would keep their traps shut, and they would just like wink
Nice.
sometimes. It wasn't like that they said like, oh, we're going to call the cops. There's some pictures of marijuana there or something. I mean,
Right. Just because they're professionals and they understand you're
it's
not.
New York City and stuff, So, but
But they understood it was going to appear in a magazine. It wasn't like you were taking a picture of your.
Well, but I would
own
think like
private,
I would think
illegal
some of the
garden at
underground.
the
Well,
time.
I would think some of the photos though of some of the gardens would be, pretty obviously clandestine grows that are, especially when they're.
What wasn't at the time?
I mean, everything was right, exactly. So
Right.
you never had any issues over the time though with anybody like questioning the photos.
no, as I said, like there was just like the occasional wink or something.
Winks are all right.
and
I'll take a wink.
Like,
Just
you're
better
a
than
pretty
thinking.
funny guy and stuff.
Yeah.
But and I wasn't really worried about it. I was more worried about that something should be coming off of these efforts to come with these photos, because at least you would have something that was in the photo world kind of unique. I mean, not everybody was doing it and stuff,
For sure.
And
Nobody was doing it.
it paid off in so far as in '95 the New York Times has a Sunday magazine, and they were doing a big story about what's up with pot in 1995 today, whatever. And
That was
they called me in as they had called High Times magazine and said, hey, do you know somebody who has good photos of the stuff? And I called the New York Times and said, like, I'm going to come up and show you these photos, how this looks. And ended up having the cover of the New York Times Sunday magazine in 1995 with a nice fat indica plant with nice purple pistil buds on it. And
what was it again?
that kind of-
What plant was that again? Because that was from the States, right? That was a picture you took in the States.
no, it was a picture. Yes, that was
Because
picture taken
Because I remember people
in
in
an
Amsterdam.
attic in it was Kyle Cushman's.
Yeah, it's Kyle Cushman's.
plant,
Okay, that's
you
what I
know.
thought. Yeah, okay. Because I had people. It's funny. Yeah, it was. It was beautiful. Yeah, it was definitely, and it was like with a black background and like really classy, and
Right.
and it looked. I mean, it was like in '95 to have that as a cover in New York was pretty major. I remember that because we were in that article because they came to Amsterdam and interviewed people in Amsterdam. That was one of the first like positive, and that was with Michael Pollan wrote in that one, right? Wasn't it Michael Pollan?
Yeah, that was a very positive story and a very accurate, up to date by like a guy who really researched this well.
Well, he's awesome. He's
Had
like
the
the
whole-
he's like the best. He's like one of the best authors when it comes to like drugs in general, just because he.
Yeah.
First of all, he tries every one of them, which I think is awesome. I love this guy. This is the guy right here. But yeah, he did that with all psychedelics in the most recent book that he did, and then he did that with cannabis, of course. And when he came to Amsterdam, he was the first person to ever interview me like professionally, and so it was. And then I didn't realize until later, like, how accomplished he was. And then nowadays it's like he's like the signature guy. He's like, oh, that's the guy you'd want to have interview. I was like, he was the first guy ever. And it was like back when the quotes that he had from us, he had to like scrap half of it, and he sent us a letter where he was like pissed off. He was like, yeah, they threw half of it on the floor and fuck those guys. And we kept his letter, and because it was so like, hey, look, he's the first guy to ever really honestly tell us, like, I wanted to put a lot more about you guys in here, but they pretty much told me to go fuck off. These kids, get these guys out. So all they quoted me was just saying that the bubble gum's going like crazy or something like that. Like, kept it very simple. But they gave us a big photo. We had the big old photo in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and he would
Did
smoke
you
a joint
know
with you.
Chef Ra, by the way?
Yeah. Yep.
Good man.
was
I
there.
met him several times. I thought he had a heart of gold. I used to see him on Dead Tour all the time.
Right. Yeah, he
I liked
passed away a couple of years ago,
Yeah, he sure
or
did.
a bunch of years ago, maybe 10 years
it's been
ago
a
or
while.
something.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
And do you keep in touch with the rest of the crew, like some of the old original crew from back in the day, or?
You mean from the High Times guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm still in touch with Steve Hager, and I don't know if you remember Flick Ford, the art director. That was a crazy character back then. But anyways, like, a couple. I'm still in touch with Kyle, who used to work for High Times then for a while, and then he moved to California a long time ago at too. Been in California for 15 years, this guy now.
It's pretty amazing how much has changed in that whole, like, I mean, from the original office to the new spot to the, everything's just the roller coaster ride from High Times over the last 20 years or 30 years.
Hey, seasons change and roses die, man. Though you can certainly count on those.
And
And the High Times magazine, that all vanished from New York. I mean, I didn't do anything with them for a while. I'm doing a little bit. Sometimes they call me from if I have something in the archive, that I can undig and then send it to him, and then I get a check at some point, But it's not as if I get photo assignments from them that are with any kind of guaranteed pay or something that hadn't happened for like decades or something.
I was going to say
Different priorities right now for
I was
them.
going to say you're probably going to get close to the same rate you were getting at quarter page for $50. So I was like, that sounds about right,
Yeah, probably.
Probably
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
phase
right.
it too much. Maybe pull up a couple of those photos because you sent me a few. These are all total egotistical. Like, send me photos of myself. No, but I was like, send me some photos. We checked out my mom and me, which was crazy time travel right there.
No, I mean,
the
that's
next,
like
okay, so
also
this is the next
only
photo.
one that's-
The next photo that we're showing now is the one of Monica and me, and the big bubblegum plant, and the High Times
Yeah.
cake from the 20th anniversary? I guess it was back in the day of the cup or something like that.
Probably, I think
Yeah.
it.
Not the cup of
there
the,
20
of
on
the magazine.
cake there.
Yeah, that's so funny. It's like that's how long ago it was. It's like that's the magazine now.
Yeah, I'm
It's
sorry this didn't
Yeah.
work out. I had like only 12 hours to get ready for this, and
oh, you know me and my timing. I give everybody you like 12 hours. That's a long time for me. Normally it's like 12 minutes.
yeah, no.
You
I
look
should
like
have
a
been
young
able to
Getty Lee.
Download that.
Yeah.
You, Adam.
Get
See,
going.
I see the photos 15 seconds late. So
Okay. Yeah. This is Monica, who worked at the Hatch Museum and was going out with Mo, my buddy Mo. And bubblegum on the right. That's the original right there. That's nice. That's what I was excited to see. I was like, man, it's great to see
at that.
the plants in their full glory. And, this is like during the cup time, so I had to like get those plants from my garden to the place in still good condition and trying to make it all work. Yeah, it was funny. It was always like a struggle, but fun. And what else we got?
well, that's a big plant. What did you put it in a big trash bag or something, or like some shipping box? To
I would
make it
I would
not
wrap
look
I
like
would
a
always
plant?
I would always wrap everything in like the butcher paper. Take butcher paper and I'd start at the bottom, tape it on the thing, and then I'd just roll the plant and kind of roll it up and then fold over the top and and then throw it in the car.
Yeah, okay.
So this next photo, which was I'm glad you got to pull this one out. This one actually got printed as a poster, which I can't imagine High Times would spend the money to actually print a poster that came into the magazine that actually folded out 4 times. And so it came out to be like
Right.
a little mini poster. But it was
Yeah.
and it was funny because Andre gave me the chance to do I got to be like a window decorator, right, for like a day when he was there.
Yeah, right.
I'd be like, okay, everything's got to be perfect, right? So I'd set this shot up for him, and it basically just took. And it's funny because when I saw it today, I was like, it's kind of messy, kind of a big mess.
That's funny.
But at the same time, I was trying to get everything into this one shot, which is pretty hard to do, to be quite honest, to get everything into one single shot. But everybody's entries are in there. The book that's in the middle on the right is the one that we made like a little, and that's actually what got me in trouble with High Times, because they came back later and said that I could be sued because I put the words cannabis cup on paper. And that was their copyright. And I was all like, I'm just trying to make a thing for everybody. And then we had our scorecard in the back, you see in the scorecard. And the funny thing is, if you look at the scorecard, we had categories like burnability was one of the things I put in there, right? And if you go through time and look at high times, they like maybe not anymore, but up until like a couple of years ago, you still saw burnability as a category, and I'm pretty sure that's a made up sort of kind of thing. I don't think it's even really the way a way
Credit
to
Adam Dunn.
But so burnability.
That's funny.
Is that a word?
No, I mean,
I don't think it's a
It
word.
is now.
like,
Just goes into your.
it's
Yeah.
good, you know.
But
You
anyway,
have to
and then
start somewhere.
And then the funny thing is, if you look in the back, you got Greenhouse, Picasso, Sensi Seeds. So what we did was we made a laminate because I was in my pre-laminate days, right? Because I love laminates. Everyone knows I love
Right.
laminates. So I would make laminates of. So I was like, oh, we'll just take a photo, take their thing, and we made. And people hung on to those fucking laminates for so long. Like there was a year. I'd go back like 15 years later, and then my laminates in the corner of the Picasso or of the Greenhouse even had theirs up for a while, but I think not anymore. But Picasso definitely, and all these shops, they all had they kept them up like they were so proud of their little laminated piece of paper. And then yeah, it was pretty. And then that was a year. Then the cup got stolen. Was that the year the cup got stolen? Oh yeah, our cup got
I stole the cup.
So basically, we were supposed
That's
to get
funny.
one. They had one extra one
Oh,
made.
this is funny.
They had one extra one made for us. Like, hey guys, thanks for doing this for us. We made you a cup, and then they went and they couldn't find it. And they were like, oh, somebody stole it. And I was like, really? So our first cup got stolen. And we didn't really win it for any. It was only like it was literally a participation award, but it was because I was at the same
Also
age.
red.
I was the same age that you were when you went to America here. I was 25 at the time, 24.
Yeah.
So it was that kind of like, I was happy to be involved, and I thought that I was like had hit the lottery because I was like, oh my God, I'm working with High Times and everything. But then I also got to learn at that age that it's not all fun and happiness because you're dealing with, in a weird way, High Times had like a corporate vibe through like even with the people that were there, even though that Steve's not a corporate person technically himself, but he was working under the thumb of corporate people. And you could tell just by the language of them sending lawyers over to sit down, these 25-year-old kids, and be like, you're not stealing our cup. They literally told us, you're not stealing this from us. And I'm like, we're not even trying to steal it from you. We're just trying to make it good. Like we were trying to make something cool out of something that didn't have anything
That
going
went over
for
well.
it. It had nothing going. Like they didn't have a competition. Do you remember, Andre, when we were, because Doug actually, I told Doug you were going to be on the show, and he's like, oh, do you know what I remember about Andre? I remember when we were counting the votes, and then Andre was back there, and Hager came in the back, and he goes, I don't even care about the coffee shop category. It's all about the seed companies, right? And then we were like, no, dude. No, we have to count the votes because they're going to be pissed off if we don't like come out there with a winner, right? So then he was all mad at us because he wanted we were late or something to get the votes out, and you actually were helping Doug in the back, and Doug totally like that's his like forever memory of Andre. It was like you hanging in with him, helping him with the votes and getting all that stuff out because everybody was, the stress was coming down, and we were like, dude, relax, man. It's only weed. We were like the typical stoner kids trying to do this event, and Doug was trying to do the accounting, which is always fun when you're really high. The memories.
Yeah.
The memories.
Yeah, the whole black market situation, in a way, was the cause of all of this and stuff. Then, like with High Times early on, they needed lawyers because they needed to constantly defend their position of being a publication that talks positively about, like a illegal substance and stuff.
Demon
And,
weed.
and then the lawyers, of course.
Well, you have to go. You'd have to go through the Kennedy lawyer office to get to the High Times office back in the day at the original place. Like you'd see Trans High, and then you go into Trans High, and then it'd be Kennedy / Trans High,
Yeah.
and then you'd be like, "Can I help you?" And if you were not, and it was funny because it was like the riffraff going in compared to the get to the other side. You know what I mean? It'd be like, so you'd be like, "High Times that way, sir. Yeah, you're going that way. You're not coming this way." But it was like you had to get through the gauntlet to get to the people in the back because they had to deal
Hippies enter the right.
Oh, and here's another one. This is a funny one. So this was later on. Trying to think what year this is. and what strain that is, because fuck, that tough. Because I don't know. That's
What are we looking at?
oh yeah. I say it says on the fuck ups, doesn't it? Go back down to the fuck ups. What year? What year was the fuck ups? Ooh, good. So the fuck ups was my anti.
Oh.
This is my anti-cup year. So this is the year we did not enter the cup. I don't know how I convinced you to come downstairs. Okay, so here's a pretty funny, interesting thing. Okay, see that thing there, that wand? That is the volatilizer, right? So the volatilizer was the first. You had to have names like that. It had to be volatilizer, right? And then that sublimator.
Yeah.
Like so, that's pre-sublimator. But it's the volatilizer, right? So that just automatically just shows you where everyone. If you have to think in the same sort of zone. But anyway, that came from our friend who passed away, who was one of the guys who apparently started the whole Sensimilia story because he would go down to Mexico and separate. He'd buy all the sterile plants.
okay.
He'd buy all the like he'd go through piles of weed and he'd be like, "Hey, this one has no seeds," because it was like a sterile plant could never receive or something. And he would like, "I want just these ones," and they were all like, and he goes and he kind of convinced, they all got it figured out that separate the males, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, that guy was really cool, but he made that thing, and it was literally the first sort of commercial vaporizer because he'd seen what Eagle Bill had been using, and all the other guys were using like paint strippers, and so he was like, I'm going to build a custom built thing, which was basically, it was funny because it looks all crazy, but it was like a cigarette lighter thing connected to a thing, and it wasn't that complicated. And then in the back, the pipes, those are from Buzz, and Buzz was a subgroup from Graphics, so the guys from Graphics broke off, and they started making this line called Buzz, and they were in Phoenix, which is the same place where Graphics was at. And I had all these pieces coming from them, bubblers and things. Strain, though. Sage and Sour, I believe it probably is in the back, because it was late. But anyway, that was a year we decided to boycott the cup because we
It
were
says Sage on there.
Doesn't it?
SAGE.
That's Sage there. Oh, maybe it is Sage. Well, it's hard to tell.
Probably was like 96 or something. Yeah.
96, I believe. Yeah, you're right. That sounds exactly right, actually. Huh. And yeah, it's funny. That's like a whole. That's another one of those like, Andre's coming quick. Grab everything that we got and throw it on the table and get a photo. There you go. Boom. Funny.
One more.
That was down in the basement. And guess who that is in the back, Dave? Can you name that
I won't
guy?
be able to see it for another
All right, I'll
30
wait.
seconds.
I'll wait.
We'll light the joint up here, and
Yeah, the joint of Dave's weed.
yeah, we're smoking all the Dave's weed right
Get
now.
out of my jar,
I smoked a big old joint of it a second ago. It was great.
motherfucker.
No, I smoked my weed, dude.
Okay, now you see it?
No, not yet.
Jesus Christ, how long is this delay? Oh, you have to look it up.
I get
sorry
it when
for
everybody
the
else gets it.
technical difficulties.
Nah, it's just slow.
No,
It's
I
slow.
have to
We'll
wait
do
till
it-
the stream
Maybe
because
we
I'm
can,
in my.
maybe we
Here we go.
we can get this together
here we
for
go.
the future.
Here we
at
go.
some
Here we
point.
go.
do
Here we
a little
go.
bit of a slideshow.
So this is original fashion show. I can tell by the clothes everyone's wearing because this is like total typical 90s hemp fashion, right? You got Monica still there. You got, that was my girlfriend at the time on the left there of me. And then I don't even know who those other people are. But guess who's that is in the back, Dave? Who is that?
Who is
Come
that?
on.
Is that Hank?
No. Famous.
know.
He's famous.
Is it Jack? It's
He's
not
dead.
Jack.
He's also dead.
Famous and dead.
Famous and dead.
famous and dead. I don't
Weed,
know. Who's
rich,
that?
old school. Kentucky. Come on now. I can't go any deeper than that.
Oh,
I'm
damn.
drawing a blank.
Gatewood Galbraith.
Oh,
And-
Gatewood Galbraith.
And you know the
okay,
funniest thing is I had always said he would be Me Too'd to a fucking to the hilt right now, and you can already look at him. He's in the back, all just waiting. There's girls up there. Now, he was cool, but he was definitely a grabber. He was one of those like, hey, little girl, let me help you up there. You remember Gatewood, of course, right? He was pretty funny. He was a character. He could talk though. That guy could get up
Right.
there, and once you just put him up in front, and he would get on about hemp and bringing it back to Kentucky. And he had some. He was definitely the one of the first sort of guys running on that platform, and 100%. And he came over. He was the wasn't he Freedom Fighter of the Year that year? Was that his?
I believe he was.
I think he was.
I'd like to
Yeah,
ask
that
the chat
deep
gang to
thundering
help me out
voice,
here,
yeah.
but look at Adam's face in the old photo with Gatewood Galbraith, and I think he's had some work done. I'm thinking he's had some work done.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I'm looking at that. It
Yeah.
just can't be all like vegan weight.
Right.
I don't know, but we'll have to.
I think I weigh
We'll
about the same. I
discuss it
think I
at
weigh the
length.
same that I did then, though. Pretty close to it. Pretty close.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm thinking there's some. I
The
don't
beard
know.
doesn't weigh very much, so.
I don't know.
What's
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia. So, you ever think about putting together like a book or anything like that? Because you got such like classic stuff that would be nice to see.
Well, I
Rephrase that. Would you please
Well,
put together a book?
Exactly.
I didn't do it yet, and then I was always trying to. I think I might still do it, because
What is
I
it? What
need
is
to
it?
make
What is
some-
it like now, though? What's the entry level now? Because people must be desperate to get people to print stuff because there's so much less people putting stuff into print compared to before. Or what's it like now to getting something put together? Is it different?
I made a more serious proposal to the European Taschen book company, and I had actually pretty good contact there. The people wanted to help me and stuff to do it, but they said they just couldn't get the company to do something about the marijuana drug, the drug marijuana. They didn't want to touch it. Still, I mean, there's only half a year ago, 6 months
Really?
ago, I tried
I would
that.
imagine. Really? There was a time when
And-
I went into like I think it was what the fuck's that shop? I can't now. I'm getting a brain fart. Urban Outfitters. Went to I came back from Amsterdam. I was here for like I don't know, New York or something like that. And I went to Urban Outfitters, and like all of a sudden, every single book was about weed. I was like, what? What's going on here? Like, it was like, and then it was
Yeah.
it was like a phase where just like they decide somebody in some boardroom was like, we need more weed stuff, and then it was just like, bam, there was like 50 books out there.
Yeah, no, there's a lot out there, that's for sure. But I mean, I made postcards, I made calendars and stuff, and
No, calendars are bad. Don't do calendars anymore. That's like a
No,
guaranteed.
no,
That's a
it's
guaranteed failure right there, in my opinion. I always tell people,
And-
stay away from calendars.
yeah. So
Just
I
join the
don't
Butt
know.
of
I
the
might
Month Club.
still at
No,
some
I think.
point.
I mean, I think your stuff would.
self-publish something, with.
Yeah.
But
Just-
I'd also include other photos or something. I mean, I wouldn't just do only the weed stuff.
No. I
I'd
think
also do-
I think you should do all of your styles because again, the weed stuff. You don't want to be pigeonholed as a weed guy, right? At the end of the day.
No, I mean, well, like now that I live here in Colorado, I mean, I'm 65. I kind of still need to make a living and stuff, pay rent and stuff, So I
No, now you're
Kinda-
original. You're OG. You're like OG weed guy. Is what you do. So then but you don't have
yeah, I would like to. I mean, I'm definitely still interested in having a good time taking pictures of anything that's pot related. It's really cool, and there's a lot of stuff that I haven't seen personally, like the really big productions, the really big grow houses and stuff, the greenhouses.
Oh,
And
we've
I'm-
got you covered.
as-
We got
as
you
I
covered.
have
Yeah, we got you covered. Don't you worry.
Yeah, but we might not have to wait for the.
No, I have
For
a.
next
We're gonna
season,
we're gonna get you over to Area 420
Yeah.
because you actually only I don't know from Pueblo to where that is probably like 2 hours or something like that maybe because it's down to the same.
Yeah,
zone.
no problem, and
And,
it's easy,
It's 60 grows all in one area, and it's amazing. And they have there's unlimited amounts of photography there because it's like
Yeah, but we could get them right to Apothecary Extracts Pueblo right now.
Yeah,
No,
no,
that's-
that is, for example, something that I'd be interested in. I always love this
extraction
stainless
stuff.
steel machinery that these extract machines use. I mean, there was a time I made extracts myself. I was using the butane method. I don't know, like 10 years ago or something, And remember, on the roof of my building was be outdoors, so
In New
you
York.
don't blow yourself up accidentally and stuff.
Nice.
Uh,
Mommy, what's
but,
that guy doing down there with a big tube on the
He's on
rooftop?
fire.
He's on fire. He's like, "Rah."
No, but we have several sponsors that have gardens near you. So Green Farms has a garden in Colorado Springs. You could go visit.
Right.
I mean, how far is Build a Soil from?
It's far away.
That's far.
No, we'll definitely get you into a bunch of places to check out. It's Apothecary Extracts would be awesome because they do super high quality products, and they're obviously they're doing all different kinds of extraction. So we could get you, if you want to get you linked up for that, and also maybe just as an education from learning all the different techniques. Be like, okay, so that's what that is. Okay, now I know. Because literally, there's 50 different kinds of ways of making extracts now, where it's not just simple
50,
as
100.
never ending.
3,000.
Just keeps coming. Well, just keeps coming. Just keeps coming.
I'm psyched. I'm look forward to seeing these things. It's like very exciting, and I can, I do stuff with the photos eventually. I'm trying to crank this up, so it'll be actually like an actual living or something. I think here, all these businesses here, they have websites. They need photos that look decent on websites and stuff. I'm sure something can be done.
For sure. And and if you come to Denver, you can also come next. We'll get you in. Either come by the studio if we're here on a Friday, or just give me a heads up, because it'll be fun to finally link up again.
Oh, I know the guys at 14er would love to have you.
Make that a little better with no technical difficulties like today. I would have liked to.
I know. Well, there you go. That's our story of our life right there. Technical difficulties.
Well, we'll definitely have you on again when we have a full video feed for you.
Yeah, and if you want, because we're gonna we're gonna do some sponsor shout outs in a minute, and then we're also gonna do a giveaway. So we're gonna be on for another half hour or so. So if you want, when we jump off, if you got any things you want to just send them over to Mark, we can flash them up. If you got any pieces.
Okay.
So we still got a half an hour live while we're still on the show, so you can just send it by the computer, Just send
okay.
Yeah, so cool.
I'll do it right now, and then how will we do it?
I'll send you.
Can you send me an email address?
I will do it. I think I already did, but I'll send it to you again so you have it direct.
And send them a link to the YouTube so you can log back on and you can watch. And if you have any friends that grow cannabis and they need a lamp to grow, they should send us an email, because we give away an LED once a month, the last Friday of the month, which is today. So we're giving away an IL-8. Right, an IL-8. I got it right.
That's great.
So we'll send an email. We pick them out of random or depending on
this guy Andre sounds pretty
the
interesting.
story.
Can't go in the sun.
Okay.
My name's Andre. I'll be like, that sounds so familiar. I don't know.
We have a winner.
I've heard of this guy. Okay, so I just sent you an email address. You can send any pictures to him direct. So that'll be go to Mark, and then we'll show him during the show.
Okay. I'll
Awesome.
get on with it.
Hey, it's awesome. And
thank you for having me.
yeah, like I said, it was funny because I wanted you on the show, and then you're like, I don't know if I can make it up there. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. You're here? I was like, because I remember vaguely hearing it, but then I totally forgot that. So next time we'll definitely we'll get you in studio, hang out.
But for millions of fans who read High Times over the years, I extend to you a real big thank you for all that you've done, because
improving the quality of photos is the most important part. That's pretty much, that is literally the part that stands the test of time. Like, the
snapshot in time. Absolutely.
If you take any magazine now and go back, it's like, obviously it's funny because if I pick up a magazine now, I find myself like trying to like open the pictures. Like I'll be like, what? You can't zoom in on this? Like, like technology wise, photos on paper, and it's like, it's kind of one of those things which are going to be lost in time. But to have images that you produced that have been, because the one thing that's really cool about High Times is it's the most handed down magazine ever. Like it's 10, like it goes an average of 10 people actually get the magazine.
That's true.
And like other magazines, they get kind of lost. You're taking fashion photos, you're definitely not getting pulled out in a month later. You know what I mean? Because that's so last month, literally. With cannabis, it's like the older it gets, the more it's even worth more money, because it's like, or not money, but more to the person, And so
Yeah.
Almost every person who listens to the show probably has a High Times or two in there somewhere in their possession.
Or 3 or 4 or years worth.
You know, and probably they don't have any cassettes left because those are gone. You know what I mean? But they probably still have the magazine. So, yeah. So it's cool to know that you got photos in somewhere in somebody's closet somewhere everywhere. You know what I mean? It's like it's a cool way to spread your art.
Thank you for doing that also,
Yeah.
and
Anytime.
I'm going to go look for some real photos now, and then
Some
maybe
real
at
photos.
the end of the show
Not
you
like
can
photos
run
of-
some past, okay?
Perfect. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Talk to you
Okay,
soon, Andre.
thank you.
Peace.
Okay, have a good day. Bye.
So just a general public service announcement. If you've sent us an email to try to win a light, a lamp,
You have
why
the,
don't you look at the last email you sent us
You have the new one?
and just make sure you sent us a phone number. And if you're out there and you haven't sent us your phone number in the last email, you should resend it because someone might have gotten picked to be the winner tonight and finally got down to it and realized there's no phone number there. So everyone, if you've sent us an email looking for a lamp, make sure your phone number was included or just hit resend and send it again. You have about 15 minutes before we get to the giveaway.
Dun, 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 dun,
Dun, dun, dun, dun, dun,
giveaway. Oh, yeah. And I saw them. They were coming in hot and heavy. It's like ding, ding. I was like, whoa, another one. I was like, people are starting to. You better. Now it's starting to become serious. There's some competition. Well, on the done deals on this light deal. Because before it was a little meager. It was like, I don't know, people listening. But now I was like, bang, bang, boom, bang.
Oh, is there a new?
What? You don't even.
We
know?
have to relog back on. Oh, I haven't gotten a done deal email since the 13th, so I
No,
think
there was
Mel's
some-
going to have to show me how to reinitialize
There
it.
was 2
Oh.
or 3 new ones yesterday. So
Yeah.
now they know they're not going to win.
No, but come on.
all right.
We have people have been sending in for a long time, but what kind of nutrients?
Oh, so wait a minute. Now something else was also brought to my attention too. That even though we're gonna go into the shout outs, but are we giving away a 315 or an ILI3? I thought we were.
I thought it was a 315, but oh wait,
Well, no, I originally it was 315. Then we switched over to these to the thing, and then somebody hit me up yesterday and was like, they showed me, they circled it, and it said 315. So I think we're back to 315, just so everyone knows. And it's good to know what you're gonna win.
You're going to win a lamp.
But I would rather win a 315 than a fucking IL3 personally, just because I feel like you can get more out of it because you can, get some buds, not just starts. So either way, anyway, just
It's
so we
a
know.
free lamp.
All right, that's at
It's-
the end.
it-
That's at the end.
Don't worry about
Don't,
it.
yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry
You're getting
about
a fucking
it.
light.
You're going to enjoy
Hey,
a free lamp. It
You're getting a
grows,
fucking
okay?
light. Hey,
It grows. It has light come out of it.
hey, you look at it and then your eyes get hurt.
Adam, what do you think of New Millennium Nutrients?
Oh shit! I'm thinking it's the fucking fire right there. New Millennium Nutrients. Go to newmillenniumnutrients.com. Check out their site. Go to their store finder. Go to their calculator. Figure out what you might need. Having said that, it's pretty straightforward. Fucking good fucking range of products right there. I have been using them now for multiple years. I keep forgetting. I don't know, 3, 4, 4 years, probably 5 years. Years are slipping by, but mom loves it. That's all you really need to know. That's it.
That's it.
It's a done.
Mom
it's a-
approved.
Mother
Ace
approved.
approved.
It's-
You've used it 4 years plus COVID. So there you go.
don't know
That's a
about
long time.
Plus COVID. Oh, is that a thing?
It's every day for me now. So
Every day.
But
But no,
if
definitely.
Ace likes it,
Yep.
then that's the shit right there.
And what's funny is she loves it so much, and that it's so noticeable too. Because like when I'm always like trying to come in from like, yeah, you do the New Millennium, and then I'll come in with some other microbes or some other stuff, just because it's like. But when you hit it, when she comes in, does a round, it's like I'll come down the next day and I'll just be like, holy shit, dude! It's like kicking. So anyway, in general though, that's all you really need to know.
And then next week we'll have this all worked out. But Medically Correct is now several different companies. They've got Keek, they've got Clear Creek Extracts, they've got Novi Chocolate line. And so hopefully by next week, we'll work out and get them slotted in for all those different products. But in addition to all that, Incredibles Edibles is still their mainstay right now. It's the largest selling gummy in Colorado. It is consistent every time, delivers the same effect every time there's going to be no question when you take one of their products that it's going to work. They've been around since the beginning, right? It's going on 11 years. So if you need CBD products, you're going to go to their sister company, TruePura.com.
But you're
and
going
it's
to have
at
to wait.
True
You're going to
Purist.
have to wait though there, because MTI's parents are buying them out.
Oh, yeah.
They've bought the entire company. I think it's over.
Oh,
Right?
shit.
They've taken over. They're like, no, we need it all.
Yep.
We need it all. They're addicted.
Well, they're getting a little break because they took a little hemp in, but they'll be back on that True Pure.
Oh, yeah.
Right away.
Even sounds
enter-
good. They're
enter
back
Done
on
Deal
that
at
True
checkout.
Pure. They're back on that True Pure. I
Yeah.
like it. I like
It's
how-
20% off. I mean, you're not going to get a better deal.
Great deal.
Listen, you got to try their gummies. Mark's going to tell us all about their bath salts next week.
Oh yeah.
Their pain cream is fantastic. I slammed my shoulder, my elbow, excuse me, like right on a spot.
Did you get it?
And every time I hit it there, it hurt. I rubbed it on. I literally forgot I had pain. So you got to give TruePura.com, enter Done Deal. You're going to get 20% off at checkout. If you happen to be in Colorado Springs, you can hit up Green Farms Med. They produce some of the finest cannabis you've ever smoked. Their tincture is amazing. They carry all the brands of edibles in the state that are available. You can't go wrong with them. It's no-till organic. It is fantastic. I am so impressed with what they're doing right now. And when I spoke with JW today, he said, well, if you're impressed with what you smoked last week, wait till what you try this week. So if you're down in Colorado Springs, you got to head to Green Farms Med. They have incredible specials right now going on for, I don't know if we're going to call it a Black Friday special, but mention the Done Deal, tell them you're fans of the show, and they're going to take really good care of you down there. I mean, really good. It is fire. This full spectrum tincture is phenomenal. I highly recommend it. You need to add it to your buy list. They happen to use Build-A-Soil, which is our next sponsor. So buildasoil.com, anything you need for your organic growing needs, right? I mean, free shipping and any $500 order.
And they're
in
having a Black
Mexico.
Friday sale there, DJC.
Holy moly. Look, see, I can't see that yet, but their Black Friday spell, can you
Smell?
get the Black
Smells?
It's all products
Can you
10%
get the Black
off
Friday
Sidewire.
sale and a Done Deal?
I don't know. You could
We'll
try.
try to double up on that.
Yeah, try and
But
double
they
up.
sell mushrooms and vegetable starters and full service, everything you need to keep your garden going. They are just absolutely fantastic. So you call 855-877-SOIL. That's buildasoil.com. Place your order. Again, free delivery on anything over $500 to New Mexico or Colorado. But if you're stuck at home and you're feeling creative and you want to learn how to blow glass, Hubbard Glass is where it's at. You go to patreon.com/Hubbard Glass, and for as little as $8, you can take a little glass blowing lesson. And you can learn how to blow glass. If you're really into it, you can join his monthly club for $80, where he actually sends you little pieces of glass. Listen, he really knows his stuff. He sent us a couple of rigs. They're just beautiful. Fantastically talented artist. So you go to patreon.com/Hubbard Glass. You can spend $8. So come on, if you're out there right now, we've asked you to buy coffee. Take a look at $8. You're not going to go wrong. Okay. So I don't know if he has a Done Deal going on there, but just mention in the comments that you heard it here. So it's patreon.com/Hubbard Glass. But if you love coffee, Rosin Dogs, we know you love coffee. I love coffee. I wake up to it every morning. I know Adam loves it. I got a 5-pound bag here for you. You go to ozocoffee.com. You enter Done Deal at checkout. You're going to get 20% off your order. They source beans globally. Small family farms. They have it shipped to Boulder, Colorado, where it's roasted on a 1959 roaster. It is fantastic. Either they're single origin or they're blends. You can't go wrong. They have several locations here in Boulder and Longmont. So you go to ozocoffee.com, enter Done Deal at checkout, tell them you heard it here, and enjoy 20% off your order. But, there's your buddy Petey is open now, right?
Yes,
If
sir.
Adam's going to fly to Barcelona, I'm sure, any day now. He's
course.
just looking forward to our passport not being shit. And you go to Treasure BCN on Instagram. Fantastic feed. You tell your cab driver you want to go to Treasure and you mention Done Deal, and you're going to waive your €30 membership fee. And €30 to the US dollar right now is $467. So that's an incredible savings right now.
Is it now?
Yeah. How is Petey doing? You speak to him lately?
I have not, but I did see he was open, which is, I think, big weight off his shoulders. So that's always a good thing.
He had lots of
And
photos
we can
going in the IG feed.
It's pretty much because we had just said we're going to stop fucking doing advertising for, because he ain't even fucking open. We're like, you're not even open, so whenever you open again, we'll do it again. And then all of a sudden you open again. That's what usually happens. I got a bunch of photos from Andre, which I'm going to forward to Mark, because I don't think he...
So while you're putting that up, if you're in Denver, Pueblo, or Colorado Springs, head to our friends at Apothecary Extracts, ask for the done deal, and you're going to get a gram of ambrosia and an infused joint for $25. MTI goes there weekly.
Yeah.
And he can tell us all about what's the concentrate of the week right now.
They got some new stuff. I had one called Nectar. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but it was like a cheesy orange type of flavor. And
You know how good it is? Because it never gets to me. That's how good it is.
Yeah, see, those
So-
are the ones that I keep, and then I give you. But I still give you fire though. It's not like you get like.
Yeah, you do. It is all fire.
Yeah.
But they are fantastic people. They know their shit. The special is only available at their 3
Oh,
locations.
they're coming
However,
to me now.
they are
Just get it.
available at almost every dispensary in Colorado. They really know their extraction process, and dispensaries trust them with their flower to process it. So you go to Apothecary Extracts in Denver, Pueblo, or Colorado Springs, ask for the done deal, $25 gram and an infused joint. Extract Craft's your guy.
Extract Craft.
Extract Craft. So you said we're having them on?
Extractcraft.com.
You talked to them? We're having source guys on?
Oh, look at that! They're having a Black Friday sale.
Oh, shit.
Boom! Slack Friday.
Slack Friday. They could have
I
been a
did speak
contender.
to the guys at Source V Products. We'll have them on in a few weeks after my
a
Source V vaporizer.
That's
I
a different
ordered one.
source. I thought you were talking about this source.
No.
Okay, got you. Never
No.
mind. Never mind. But Extract Craft, they also have a
Extractcraft.com.
thing called a source, which is a tabletop extraction, small amounts, like I think like an ounce or something at a time. But the other one, the Ito Pro, you can run I think about almost a pound's worth of material. But you have to do it. You don't put the material in. You gotta make the wash first. Then you put the wash in there and take it. Just hit one button, one dial. That's all you gotta do.
You want buttons now. You don't get
Oh
any
yeah,
buttons.
you don't get to do nothing. It's not like you're DJing or anything. You're just sort of
Right now, you can get $200 off the Ito Pro for Slack Friday.
Slack Friday.
And enter done deal. You might get an additional discount. You never know.
You might blow the system up.
You might blow it up. You get in trouble like I did with the Space Cannon guy.
Oh yeah, Space Cannon. Oh, you're still hearing about that? No, not really.
No, I actually.
You got a new one. When's
the new one
come?
comes out in January. That's when it gets to us.
I
Finally.
thought you were supposed to have it already.
It was supposed to be here last October, but
Last October.
Yeah.
What, you mean like
well,
a year
we
ago?
pre-ordered in October for
Oh.
that December, and then COVID happened and all this
Oh.
stuff, and then
So you've had it in the pipes in the works there, huh? Oh, nice.
Yep.
So we get a chance to check out the new Space Cannon whenever you
Yeah.
get it. So, but if you want to grab one of these machines, you're going to need a bunch of ethanol because that's why it's called ethanol extraction.
Got it.
So you go to our friends over at 420 Extractor.
You got to write O. You can't put a zero.
No,
It's
you can't.
420
As hard as you want.
Extractor.
You can try. You can try. It probably won't work. You'd be like, God
No.
damn it. Why is this not working? But yeah, in general, it's just a simple product. It's great. It's made for making extracts. So there's no messing around. It's not like can I have a bunch of that for some reason? I was like, you can have it delivered to your house, which is awesome. You can have 5-gallon totes. You can have 2.5 gallon ones. You can have gallons, whatever you need delivered to your door. It's about $36 a gallon, so it's a good price. And it's made right here in Colorado.
Right here in Colorado.
Colorado. So yeah, give them a call, 420 Extract, or give them a check on the email. They don't announce
They
their
deliver.
number. Yeah, but they don't announce their number like Jeremy, of course. Do we
Oh, you
skip-
just send them a
do we
note, go to
skip
their
Jeremy?
website, and you
Didn't
can
even
buy
hear- I missed
order.
that I think I was busy. Was I busy during the build of soil?
yeah, you
You
were
were.
busy during
Oh,
building.
wow,
yeah.
you did a good job there, Dave.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job. I didn't even know.
But
Just
if you're in-
slip through.
If you're in Boulder
Oh,
and you want fine cannabis, you got to head to 14erboulder.com. You got to place a pre-order, one person in the store at a time. And I am telling you, there is something about their rosin manufacturing that is so dialed in right now. It is fire. So you got to try
really is.
their strawberry slots, their Mac Daddy, Moonshine Haze. I mean, I'm very fortunate to have tried a lot of different companies' rosin, but there is something about this. If you are a rosin aficionado, I'm telling you, place a pre-order, buy a few grams. You will be incredibly impressed. If you're not impressed, you can just rip me on Instagram or leave a nasty comment for me. But I know that's not going to happen, because 14er Boulder is a phenomenal company. You got to check out their flower right now. The Mac Daddy is amazing. I'd hold it up to the camera, but I'm on Zoom right now and it sometimes doesn't work. Amazing products. Give them a try. 14erboulder.com. They're at 28th and Mapleton, right across from the YMCA ball fields. But if you're growing at home and you need, what did we decide they are? And what do you call them? A supplement? I wanted to say, I was going to say the E word again, but that's not what, I don't want to use that term again.
Adam,
What's that? What happened?
what do you call an amendment, right?
Fish it. An
Yeah,
amendment?
It's an amendment. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Whatever. If I could throw that in there. Throw an amendment in there.
But
throw
we've
it-
been
throw an
talking
amendment
about
at them.
fish it for about a year right now, and I see the mail that comes in. I haven't read a single negative comment about them. It's all been
It
positive.
stinks. This shit stinks.
Well, that's not real. I don't know how
okay.
negative
This
that
shit
is.
stinks, bro.
When we're
It
talking
stinks so
about
good.
what it
Stinks
does
so
to your
good.
cannabis. It is well
Dude, we're
worth
getting
it.
we're getting bombarded with poems here. You know that their poems are coming out. I don't know is it in the air? It's in the air. I may have to read all the poems just to read them, but no, then they'll be all bummed because they didn't win a light. They'll be like, I want a light. Poems don't always win it though, guys.
Homies,
But
yeah.
on the
Don't
12th,
over poem it. Over poem. No, it's funny.
no, on the 11th,
I need to
on
know how to get into
December
that one.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll get with Mel and figure out how to get.
Yeah, bro.
on the December 11th show, we're going to be
forward
giving
them,
away
please.
5
No.
individual leaders.
Oh,
or
I saw
5
I
liters.
saw
So
that our buddy Keith got his 5 liters. You saw that? Mr. Long.
I did. That's
Mr.
amazing. And so we're going to be giving away a lot more of that.
And
So
all he did
please
was say, "Hey, can I get a sample?" And they were like, "Yeah, "Sure."
send
That's
an email to
$500. Here's
Dundeal
$500 worth of fish shit. Nice.
at adamdunshow.com.
Nice.
Tell us why you can use some fish shit. Sending in some type of rendition of a fish in a diaper
With
moves you
Dave's
to the
face.
top of the line.
As long as it has Dave's face.
Adam's
on it, we're
face
good.
or Mark's face.
Dave.
Not Dave.
You have
you don't
way
wanna put
better
Dave's
fish
face
face
on
than
that.
me. I'm telling you, your face is way fishier.
But it is a fantastic product. I've used it here. You'll love it. And you know what? This is something that all of us use. You're not necessarily a grower. If you listen to the show, you're smoking something probably. Although there probably are some of the fans out there that just use edibles. But you have a dirty pipe. You need Terp wipes.
Oh yeah, right here.
It is this product rocks. Okay,
We
it
love it.
rocks.
No, it
It's
is.
4 times the size of any regular alcohol prep pad, and it cleans the shit out of my pipe. It keeps it nice, and if you have a nice Cameron Tower or you have a Snotty, you want to keep it clean. You keep your dab rig clean. Terp Wipes is where it's at. You go to terpwipes.com. You enter Dundeal at checkout. You're going to get 10% off your order. Simple as that. And if you're somebody like Mark who constantly forgets to order them, you can get on your subscription and you don't even have to worry. They'll send it to you every month. You don't
See,
even
like,
have to.
that's my test. Like
be
if I
reminded.
can lift the thing up with my finger, then I know it's too much. It's too sticky. So it's time for a Terp wipe.
Oh, look at that.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that. Look at
Look at
that.
incredibly product placement.
I know I needed it because my shit was sticking to my finger.
So you go to terpwipes.com, enter Dundeal at checkout. You're going to get 10% off your order. Great company, great people. I guess we'll do seeds here now first
Yeah.
because we'll be giving
I
a
tried.
light
I
away.
hit up James to see if he wanted to come on. I don't know. I didn't get no answer.
I didn't even see him on the chat room tonight. So, he's in Mexico. He got fucking kidnapped.
Oh yeah, he got kidnapped.
You know?
Mexico.
He is in someone's basement right now, looking like a scene from Pulp Fiction.
Yes, sir.
He's got that ball gag in his
Oh
mouth.
shit! THC
Yeah.
stands on the top. Look at that. Look at that.
James
God.
Bean's in the thing.
Is he? Oh, well, there you
Yeah.
go. Somebody's-
Get on here, James
chat.
Bean. There he is.
There he is. Where? Where is he?
Yeah, he's in the
I see
chat.
reloaded
Yeah, but
the
come on.
loud and exotic doorbusters. Oh, he's busy loading up his Black Friday deals.
Is he not? Did you send him a link?
Yeah, I send him a link every week.
Okay, well there you
He
go.
automatically gets a link. He's a link.
AutoLink. He's AutoLink guy.
He's a link
Oh,
getter.
well,
he's
you're
on
all
AutoLink.
you're LinkedIn, brah.
Oh, no.
Oh, now you said you can't use that. That's somebody else's company.
Yeah, it's real dumb too.
Whatever. I think LinkedIn's a bunch of fucking.
So you got to head to
It's a bunch of people trying to get
seedsherenow.com.
jobs.
They're so lame. It's like the lamest
It is the
platform
lamest.
of all platforms. You're like, get a job, get a freaking job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a bunch of losers trying to get jobs. That's exactly how I feel about it. I'm like,
Yep.
I don't.
Look, LinkedIn doesn't pay us. Seeds Here Now does.
Hell yeah.
And so you go to seedsherenow.com. They've got incredible specials today for Black Friday. I don't know if they run the whole weekend. He probably runs them until
James
he's
is
sold out
packing
on the street.
orders. Somehow I don't believe.
I
it.
mean, it is. I thought I saw him say something about exotic for $38.
Yep, I did.
That was announced on Twitter today.
I saw that.
So you'll correct me if I'm wrong on the price, but he what I was really impressed when I met Mr. Bean, the man on the scene, was the relationship he has with his growers. You've been in this industry a long time. You yourself and your friends have been motherfucked over by people who just looked out for the almighty dollar and didn't give a shit about you as a person. That is not James Bean. He cares about the artists in the stables of cultivators for Seeds Here Now. And he makes sure that they are compensated appropriately for the work they put into their seeds. They are represented properly. He protects their anonymity when necessary. And he's a very discreet and shrewd business person. So fantastic company to patronize. You go to seedsherenow.com. You enter Done Deal at checkout. Did we ever find out? What is it? Is it 10% off?
It's something.
You're listening right now, James Bean, packing orders.
James,
Tell
never,
us what the,
he's
the
never
deal is so
clear.
we
We
can
never
add it.
know. We never know. And we're supposed to try to do a double done deal today, but that ain't happen.
That ain't going to work either.
That ain't
But let's give away a lamp.
Fuck yeah.
Let's make that phone call, Mark. So
Hold
Illuminar,
on. Let's talk about it a little bit. Give him a little,
All right.
hype him up. Tell us what you-
Illuminar is an awesome
There you
company,
go,
and Mark and I were at the last time we could be at a conference, and we watched the professionalism of these guys talk to growers who were lamping 2 to 1,000 lamp gardens, and they didn't blink an eye. They're capable of those orders. They are incredibly professional. If you don't know how many lamps you need, which I hope you do, but if you don't, give them a call and they'll help you out with the planning of making sure you're lamping them and that you're daisy chaining everything together so that there's safety and efficiency involved. It's a fantastic company. And listen, they give away a lamp on the show now. It's been 14 lamps?
14 lamps.
I want to say, right? So this is the 14th lamp they've given away.
Pretty much. Yeah.
They're
Something
great
like that.
people.
Yeah.
So you got to go to to the Instagram page. You got to know what the word of the month is. And you got to send us an email at donedeal@adamdunshow.com.
Like I said,
And
they're
you
coming in
have
hot.
to
They're coming in hot and
include-
heavy. They're
You
coming
got to include your phone number because they're coming in hot, but every fourth email has a phone number.
Yep.
So
I even
come on,
put it, I'm even
stoners.
putting it on the description to make sure people get it. Like I have to double explain it.
Yeah. So listen, we try to be as random as possible, but if you have a personal story on why you need a lamp, it doesn't hurt to tell us about it. Okay. We want to share the love in the community. So you go to Illuminar.com, you can check out their website. You got to follow them on Instagram. They really have. And there are photos up there right now of fans of the show who have won lamps who are growing cannabis with it. So the proof is in the grow, and they're showing the photos online. So Mark, who do we got? You want to give him a call?
Yep.
All right, please answer.
Yeah, give me a second here. All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
Calling Nikki here.
Are you gonna read nothing?
Yeah, I'm going to. Hold
Nikki
on.
knows
I'm-
who you're calling.
Well, let's
Jeez.
make sure that they're there.
Nikki. Just gave it all away. Didn't read the letter. Who we talking to?
Well, I will say that the first winner tonight didn't have a phone number. So we selected a winner, and we can't call them.
This one says, please give my husband this light. He spends all our extra cash on cannabis gear and needs to get some shirts without holes and pants that aren't falling down.
Nice. That sounds like me.
Hello?
Is this Nikki?
This is.
Hi, Nikki. This is the The Adam Dunn Show.
Who is this? Who is this? How you doing, Nikki?
Oh, good.
You sent us a
entered.
letter.
You sent us a letter to win a light for Illuminar.
Now is the time.
Oh, yeah. Hang on one second.
Yeah.
I'm brushing my
If
kids'
we're
teeth right now.
surprising
Here's my
you,
husband.
we're going to
Okay.
surprise you to know that you're going to need to know the word of the month
Yeah, make sure you get that word of the month.
in order to win. So
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good, man. Yourself?
Good, man. You're on the Adam Dunn Show right now. We selected you to win a Luminar light,
Yeah.
but you need to know the word of the month.
Yeah. Let me.
Yeah, you go
just-
deep into the brain. Go
We'll
deep into
we'll
the
give
brain.
you a couple minutes.
Yeah,
to-
we'll go like we'll give the old
Yeah.
ding dong. We need that. You need that.
Oh, we do need that
music.
now.
You need that music.
Yeah.
Is what you got to do.
I appreciate that. How are you guys doing tonight? What's up, Adam?
Chilling, dude. Just trying to give
Awesome, man.
Just trying to go be
So
all.
what's up with wearing clothes with holes in them and not spending your money properly
Yeah,
on
you gotta
on
get your
good
shit together,
clothing?
bro.
Your wife is a little embarrassed to be with you in public.
Well, you know
She
how
sa-
it
she
goes.
says you
gotta,
dress
know,
like a
what's
dirty
important,
hippie.
right? Seeds or clothes.
Right? Ooh, that's a tough call.
Oh shit! I just got faced right there. Damn it! That was a good answer. Son of a bitch. So are
Yeah,
you? Do
you
you have
guys
a
have
garden
a
going
nice
right now?
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Good Thanksgiving?
Sorta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Very minimal. Mine was very minimal.
Very
Me
minimal.
and my
Adam's
mom.
a vegan, so he doesn't eat turkey or any animal byproducts. In fact, he's a level 5 vegan, so anything that
level
casts a
5.
shadow
No,
is out of the question for him.
Yeah, food.
It
with a
has to
shadow.
come from under the ground.
Under the ground, exactly. That's the only, tubers. I'm a tuber guy.
Tubers. He's a tuber kind of guy.
I'm all tuber. All right. So what you got? You got it. Oh,
Oh, I'm working on it.
Don't make us do
coming.
You guys
this.
surprised us tonight. You guys surprised us.
well, you're just supposed
Wasn't
to be
it-
on point when you send that
Well,
letter.
you
It
see,
means you're a
this
dedicated
is what
listener and
happens.
you know the word of the month because it just comes like you're like all day long saying it to yourself, hoping.
Also,
Right.
if you're watching on the show, people are saying in the chat room right now. So too.
Oh
That's the
shit!
other-
It's
that's the
already.
other-
that's
That's
kinda
how easy
cheating.
it could have been. You could have already been there.
Right.
Shortcuts.
I mean, I'm just wrangling the kids before we get the opportunity to. We unfortunately can't watch it live because
Gotcha.
the kids dictate
Damn
the
kids.
schedule. You know what I mean?
You have to.
Let's see.
Oh, it's coming! I can feel it. I
coming.
can
We
feel
feel
you're
it.
getting close.
Right. Let's see.
You need to know what the number is or what the
What?
word is.
There you go.
Hey!
Ding, ding, ding,
Hey!
ding, ding, ding.
What's it
Oh,
all
yeah.
about, brah? Good job. Womp, womp. We had to help just because we heard the holes in the clothes, and I feel for you because pretty much every shirt I don't know why it is. I trip out on it because I'm always like, dude, is it just a stoner thing, or do we always have the same holes at the bottom in the middle? Like there's a million little fucking holes. Is that from? I think it's from just weed.
That's
Yeah.
from
I
ashes.
I think it's just from ashes coming on your weed because every shirt I have has got 100 little holes and they're all indents. On this.
Catching it on
Absolutely
corners
from
of
ash.
stuff.
This one's actually pretty good. I'm surprised. This one's only not too bad at all. But
Yeah.
normally I've got shitloads of them, so
Right.
I feel for you. I feel for you. But those would be
I'd
worth
agree with
money.
that, mostly from ashes from the bowl popping out and like burning holes. So I totally get it.
Yeah, it's just funny because you get an accumulation at a certain point where you're like, holy shit, this is looking crazy. Well, congrats, man. And
We'll
you have to
write
congrats
you after
Nikki
the
for
show.
putting it together for you. See, it's a team effort. This is a team effort. That's in the back.
Yeah, my wife does it all. So like so
That's how it goes. Hey,
that's it. You know what I mean?
happy wife, happy life, right? So get your clothes in order, my friend, and get back to us with some details.
Yeah,
about
we need to see some photos.
when you get your
after
shit. When you get this light in,
pop your
send us some
seeds.
photos. I'd love to see it.
Hell yeah.
You got it.
All right, man. Thanks for listening to the show.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Take care.
Peace, guys. Back to the kids.
So, here's a brief update for everyone out there. Spoke with Dr. Joe afterwards.
And we got photos
and
too.
It'll be 15%
I'll
off
tell you what I know.
your doctor visit.
Some of them I know.
We'll have it entered in the system sometime next week. It's not going to work until after I
Don't say
speak
no.
with his person, but it's going to be 15% off at Holos Health. And when Dr. Joe, during the middle of his interview, when he mentioned Ethan Russo having some incredible information, I wrote to Ethan, whom I know, and he's going to come on the show as well in a couple of weeks. And so get your questions ready for him. He was the chief scientific officer of GW Pharmaceuticals when they I don't know, I don't want to say invented, but they formulated Sativex. And so the man's brilliant. I mean, absolutely brilliant, great guy. So we can all nerd out with him. Maybe we can even get our other Dr. Mark on the same show, and they can talk geek to each other.
They can geek. No, I like Battle Royale, doctor versus
Right.
doctor. Only two doctor enter, one doctor leave. And then you play that music. You gotta have the music ready. Like, you have to have the exactly. Only old guys get that. All the kids are, what the hell are these guys singing?
What's going on in there, Grandpa?
Okay, so we got some photos from Andre, but
It's gonna
he's
take me a second. You gotta keep
oh
going.
man, we gotta keep
Just, he
dripping.
sent them all
jeez.
individually, and I gotta like.
Oh man.
And,
Well, come on. This is the last show before the 11th.
we
Does
can go
anybody have any guesses on who
Oh no,
our special mystery guest
don't
is
even
for
start
the
with the guesses. What are you trying to do?
what? What do you
Next,
mean?
you're gonna have a raffle.
That was your idea.
Next, you're gonna have a raffle. No.
That was your idea too.
No, we're not.
Look at all these rules
This
you're
is
breaking.
not a I don't do raffles, bro. We're
doesn't
gonna
do
do
raffles, dude.
We're gonna do a
Raffles
wheel.
are bad news.
We're gonna do a wheel, which is a definitive answer. Like this is it.
Your names have to be on the wheel too. It can't fucking just be my name on there. We're
My
not
name
playing
will
this
be
like
there.
it was quarters in
My
college.
name will be there. Don't worry. We're gonna all be equal numbers. You just will have the
I
ones
don't
that
want
happen
to
to
see
be.
any weight. I'm not going to be there to tell if you weighted.
No, it's
the
going to be
fucking
digital.
wheel.
Mel's going to be on charge.
Okay.
So it's going to be
Yeah.
a third party. Third
Okay.
party. Mel is on. She'll be on. We will have. Yeah.
Well,
don't
now
you
we
worry.
have a medical observer, so I feel a lot better.
We have a medical observer from fall. Yeah. Digital. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're definitely
Digital
passed out.
medical
You're
observer.
definitely passed out. I can tell you for that. If you just want to, if you were awake, I would tell you that you were passed out. That's pretty much what we.
This is going to be like those parties I had in college where we got a tank of nitrous and we took everything sharp out of the room and it was just full of pillows,
That could
no
be a-
glass, and you
that
had to sit down
Could
and
we
pass the
We
balloon.
could get it. We could go to Gargamel's and get a tank, and we can have that as one of the.
No, I hate nitrous.
Well, you can't have any. How's that? Yeah, we can
Good.
do. We can get a tank.
We're open till 8.
We're up till 8. Perfect. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, I'm almost there.
Okay. we're
Whoever
almost-
that was who left the comment
Okay, so
on last week's
so
show
we have
that I
12
sound like
hours to
Motley,
fill.
I
12
love
hours.
it.
It is. It's pretty good. 12 hours to fill. We probably filled already a third of that. So if you got crazy, if you have anything to add to the story, get in touch with us. Same thing. Done deals. What is it?
Done deal at adamdunshow.com.
Bam. Thanks. And
Boom.
we will get all your suggestions and we'll fucking run them through. We'll see. I'm reaching out now to different people. We'll see who can come through. It doesn't have to be long. It could be 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever. But the more cool shit we have and the more obscure and the more fun for us. Because I don't want to try to coordinate 12 hours and actually
My
have
cat
it.
almost joined the show tonight, Rosin. She came and walked around my feet, but she didn't want to come on the air with me. Well, you never know. I could bring the cat on.
Yeah,
next
we're going
time.
backwards in time, bro. No, it's cool. It's fine. Doesn't matter. There's no.
Oh, yeah,
there's no
I
rhyme or
know.
reason.
It's-
So look at him. He's right away out of the gate working with the enemy. Red Eye Press, a UK magazine. Looks like a little autoflower or something like that. I have no idea. So we're just going to run through these, but these are just all Andre shots. So he got a cover shot there. He probably said, "Fuck you, High Times. I'm going over to the enemy." Nah. Red Eye is pretty good. Red Eye was like one of those magazines which was way overmade. Like their pages were super glossy and their cover was extra thick, and like whoever was like on the receiving end, like, so you want the really expensive cover? I guess. Okay, the most expensive cover. And then you want to
Okay, I'll
have
take
like
2 of 'em.
they basically they made that stuff like tried to go above and beyond as far as their production stuff. So anyway, next, let's see what we got. This is like a quiz show. I have no idea. Oh, OG Kush, there you go. Answers that. Interesting too, because like, Andre gets to go to the best gardens in, times of when people were like not letting people come to your spot. So that's pretty awesome. Looks pretty classic, classic OG as far as the structure and stuff. Small, low yield, a lot of work, viney, But can you see it yet or no? You're still on Red Eye. See how slow. Switch them up. Switch. Since it goes. And we got some indoor grow that I've never seen that show. That's pretty dope. That's like a rooftop looking down, probably, depending on the time, could be the Canadian, it looks like a Canadian setup or something, but who knows?
Okay.
Who the hell knows? Could be New York. What's that? Ann Arbor, Ash Bash. That's Rory Zone. That's Rory Zone over there. Mr. Rory Gold. Loves it. No idea. Andre Grossman, something. It's kind of scary. Not the best looking weed in the world. It's like, yeah, a little hairy, a little scrappy.
Okay.
Which cup was that? That was. What's it say?
I don't know. I can't see it. I have to wait 30
No, not
seconds.
you. We're looking. Can you see a year? No.
No, it doesn't say year on it.
I remember the photo. That's like one of those classic. See, that's what you had to do though. You had so much to show. Like, how do you show 20 strains in one picture? You know what I mean? It's pretty hard. So obviously they lay it all out, get the overhead shot. Yeah, so decent sized grows. I mean, that was like the big grow back in the day.
Oh, I remember that photo.
Yeah, big one, right?
I'm looking at the
Yeah.
I'm looking at the cup.
Yeah, the cup photo. That you remember that? That was like a definite like classic. Probably like that might have been the year before that. I'm wondering if that was the year before ours because I don't think it's the year after. I don't remember because that was the old cup. You see the cups because ours was the first year of the classic small one that they have now. And so that must have been the two. I bet that was the year before, the fifth annual cup. And then I was just saying, like, that was like a huge grow back in the day. And it looks like it's what, 20 lights or something like that. But it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
But back in the day, and look how lanky those things look.
State of the art back then.
That's pretty decent. Some production in this one. This is like when we carve literally every grow. Like there's like ones where you like be carving them out of nooks and crannies of buildings and shit. So it's always funny to see the different setups. I have no idea. I don't know where they're at, but by the lights, America. They're not Europe because we didn't do any air cools back in the day. That's some NorCal stuff there. It looks like.
Crazy.
And it's funny too because those are like.
That's pretty.
Those are like when we were, you have to, it's all about terroir there, right? You have to live in NorCal to see that kind of grow because definitely not on the East Coast and, could be somewhere Appalachian or something, who knows, but it just definitely looks like a classic old school sort of region or whatever because they got that shit covered. What are you looking at? Oh, pictures. Oh, shit. That's my ex-partner. Dun-dun-dun-dun, Dion. Wow. So me and Dion started the CIA together. And Dion I think those are fucking male plants because see they're cut already and they're just in veg and they're young. I think those are male plants that this fucking guy came into the CIA and was like all pissed off. This is when I told you the story of the guy who had this. It was Cali Mist, and so those are Cali Mist males, and he had bought clones from Victor, and Victor didn't know that they were males, and gave the guy like a tray with fucking bunch of males in there, and those males are because those Cali Mists get huge, so they were like 15 feet tall. And like in the middle of a giant greenhouse setup, and there were a bunch of they were all males.
That's crazy.
And this guy came in all pissed, and so I don't know how Dion is smiling through all this, but I remember the guy coming in all pissed off, like what the fuck? And I was like, well, I didn't sell you those clones. It was one of those like somebody who didn't know was like making this plant looks really big and took it. So having said that, definitely make sure you know that you're not giving somebody males, especially if they're going to grow in a professional greenhouse. And come to you like right at the beginning of flower and tell you like now you gotta that's how the Mr. Bubble was created, which was bubblegum times Cali Mist male, bubblegum female, because all the plants they had that were female were bubblegum, and then we had them kill all the. It had already didn't matter that they had already seeded everything anyway, but they killed all the males, and by the time they figured it out, it was like we're talking about like 20 plants that are 15 feet wide that are all male. So there was like, oh shit, hey, I think this is not a female, and it was like, oh yeah, I don't think so too, and it was like, oh shit. So it was fucked, and it was one of those crazy situations where like a lot of seeds had to get sold to get out of that one. It's like, oh. Anyway, Dion Markgraf and some Haji Podgy grow somewhere. Interesting. Oh, that's the cup that we all know and love. No, that was the year we did the cup was the first year that they introduced these, and these were made by Ludwig the Hammer is the guy's name, but it was designed by, wasn't it Alex Gray or something like that, who designed the physical, like designed it, but then the other guy made it or something like that, or was it a combo? I don't know. It was the same year they brought in, no, maybe it wasn't Alex. He was the year after when he brought in the thing. But no, they were, this guy, Ludwig the Hammer is the guy's name who made this fucking actual cup, the original one. And the original ones were a lot nicer than the new ones too, I noticed recently. I was like, things are getting a little chintzy. Jamaica, must be, right? I'd imagine. Looks like
it to me. I don't know.
Looks like it to me. That's also one of the cool things. Oh, you know who that is? Dave can't see him yet, but
I can't see it.
it's our buddy.
Why don't you put a camera on it for me, Mark?
Well, then, do you want to look at Dave or Adam?
No, you want to see me, man. That's all he cares about. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I know, but then
it's
he's
It's all
just
right.
sitting
You're
up there
gonna
with no
see
explanation
him.
for
You're
like a
gonna
minute.
see him. You'll be fine. Take a guess. Well, who did we talk about earlier? We were talking about his plant being on the cover. There it is. Oh, there it is. Oh, come on, Kyle Cushman. Jesus Christ, Dave, do you watch the show?
I'm not seeing it yet.
No, but I said we just
There it
talked
is.
about.
There he is.
Oh.
Now he's there. Of course, that's Kyle.
And the funny part is this the attic though that he was growing in with the carpet that he was all tripping out on, and he didn't have drainage, so he was like
I don't know.
growing.
We
with
did
it.
a Periscope live together, like I want to say 6 years ago.
He
when
was
Periscope
growing with
first
no.
came out, or
I remember
5
at one
years
point he
ago.
was growing with no drainage, and he was just because he had carpeted things, and he was in this real short space, and he was like just putting in just enough water to everything to work, and it was a little bit, it was funny because he pulled it off, but at the same time it was kind of like it's not really the recommended way to do it. But yeah, he had some fireweed for sure, and the cough that he was doing, he had strawberry cough, and I think that's what the strain was that was in the next photo. Is it the next photo? Is the shot? No, it's not that one. I think this one's in upstate New York, though. I kind of remember this from some point. I think they called this Field of Dreams at one point, and it's like it's pretty big for America for back in the day. But and then we have some beautiful charis and some Moroccan. It looks like some pollen, yeah, some pollen. Very very nice pollen. So go back. So the pollen, which is the thicker stuff, that's actually super flowery and nice, and then the temple balls and it looks like more like charis, and then the charis sticks and stuff. So you got charis on the right, temple balls in the middle, and so the temple balls would be like different kind of flowery, like a more fermented flower, whereas the other one is more like a fresh. Ooh. And but you have to work that stuff in your hand really good. Otherwise, the pollen's like you got to take it and kind of work it and make it all nice and dark. It's good. Then next, that is the shot. So this is the shot, Strawberry Cough, cover shot in the New York Times fold-out magazine, which is pretty dope. So definitely it's a good looking plant. Good looking plant right there. Nice colors. But yeah, he got considering it was a positive article in the New York Times in 1994 or whatever it was, I think, around 94. was kind of like the first real, like, okay, hey, this is New York. Yay. Nowadays, New York Times don't mean shit, but back then it kind of meant something at that point in time, didn't it? Can you see it? Yay, you see it finally. You remember that, Dave? You got to remember that. Come on, dude. It was a fold out in 90.
What year?
94.
I wasn't living in New York in '94.
Where were you living? Oh, you were in
I
Utah.
was in Oregon.
Oh. Hippies don't read out there. What the hell?
I was in Oregon. No,
You're doing some.
no, because
Drum
that was when my
circles.
son
Doing
was
some
born.
drum
I had other
circles.
stuff on my mind.
Yeah?
There were a lot of drum circles.
Could be, I don't know. Could be the cough. Could be another one of his shots with him. Because he did a lot of shots with Kyle. I know that, but very nice.
Speaking of the Colorado cough, I got a grower who is
Told you
just
about
has
it.
to do one more back reverse, I
the
guess,
last
and
one, right? That was
he's
the
gonna
Oh, one more. One more shot.
get me a cut for you and some seed.
Can we get any information off those letters on the top? Was it Fuji? No, just
Fuji.
that's it. Fuji. PDF.
White something at the bottom corner here.
White something. Oh, we got white something.
White Rhino?
White Rhino. That makes sense. Yeah, there you go. Good detective work there, MTI. It's like
Is that the one with the yellow background?
this is like
No, it's the
this
next
is
one.
we're literally doing like Blade Runner now. We're like quadrant, right quadrant. We can read it. We can read it. It's artificial. This is a
It's her
artificial.
serial number.
Yes, we have the serial number and the scale in the one single
Oh,
scale.
that's pretty.
Remember that? Yeah. Remember White Rhino was one of the strains.
Sure.
I mean, that particular bud doesn't look so huge, but I saw that thing yield pretty awesome, and it was like one of those ones where even though it was greenhouse, I had to admit it was a pretty fucking nice plant. But it was also like it kind of grew, like the top bud had that weird like one side was a little bit off. It didn't grow like symmetrical, so it kind of grew up and then went like that. So it literally had like that doesn't look because that's like a weird side bud or something like that. But the tops when they got really good and nice and chunky, kind of overgrew on one side and got a little. So it kind of had a rhino-y thing to it, and I was like, damn, it actually has like a descriptive name even. Huh?
Detective Mark on the case.
Detective Mark on the
Nice
rhino.
job, Mark.
He has tracked down the rhino.
All right.
The last white rhino. So those are some Andre shots. Take a look back and just if you have a bunch of old high times when you're just looking at the name, just take a look at the name. Be like, hey, another one. That was that guy that was on the show.
Yep.
And we'll get him in the studio sometime soon. But you can tell if I got him I would get him too high. He would definitely be like shut down pretty quick. I have a feeling because I remember we used to get him super. I mean, he loves to smoke, obviously, but we got him really high. It fucked him up because at his job when he was back in the day, it was definitely the like can't hang out with you guys kind of thing. He fucked me up because he was working. He was actually working.
I know that is.
You know how that is?
Yeah, when I'm trying to get stuff
I
done
know
over
that
here,
is.
and you're like,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can take a
do
dab.
it, dab.
Oh, hey,
Oh.
oh.
Speaking of which, everybody take a dab because the show's about over.
Everybody take a dab, and everybody, you want to make time. To
Remember that we're
plan
not
out to
okay.
be
Remember we're
December 11th.
not. Yeah, we're gonna wait till December. Okay, so wait a minute. Do I need to send the pre-graphics card over? I guess I do. Let me send it over, and then.
So December 11th is
is-
going to be a fun show.
Yeah.
You want to make time for it.
Yeah, and it's gonna be, and it's gonna be planned. That's gonna be what 2 weeks before the big show or something like that.
I work my magic.
So
December 11th,
okay,
Friday.
Hold on. Let's see. Let me get to my photos. And then I'll send Mark. Okay, get rid of this crap. Yeah, this is no good. Cancel.
Everybody take a dab if you're out there. And thank you guys in the chat room, man. We couldn't do the show without you. You're just phenomenal. Rosa Dogs, Elka, Mike Denver, all of you guys,
Whoa,
Buddha,
whoa. What's going on here?
Sorry.
Tony Baloney.
That was your drum roll?
No, I was just.
What was that?
I messed up.
Did you?
Yep.
That never happens.
So how about this for me?
You guys rock. I'm
right.
sure I missed people.
So here's some graphics for the upcoming show on the 11th. So I got the graphics. I don't have the tech yet, but we'll put the graphics up, and then I'll throw the names up soon enough. Can't leave it totally. We can't leave it all empty forever, right? Can't gonna
What?
hype the hype. Can't hype the hype without putting the name out. But I just sent you the background, the new background
I
for.
thought I was,
You thought something?
we're like way over time.
He thought he
but
was
no,
like,
no,
"Do
no,
we
no,
get
no,
to go
no.
home?"
We're not over time because we're not. Oh, how you like those apples?
Yeah.
Hey. So that's the guy who's coming, or girl, or robot.
I can't even
Or-
see it yet.
I know you can't.
I don't
I
even know who it
know.
is.
There's no way to do that.
Huh?
DJC. I don't know unless
What,
we hack up another
time?
computer with another camera hooked up for that type of
That's
shit.
what we need to
Or we
do.
travel it through
Well,
time.
then
or
you need to
something
buy
like
us a new computer.
that. Ooh, those are fighting
No,
words.
come on, James Bean, Apothecary, one of our wonderful
What,
sponsors out there.
You're just telling James Bean to buy you a computer now? Is that what you're trying to say? Jesus Christ.
Yes.
He's just complaining 'cause he's
Wow.
not seeing the pictures right away.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Anyway,
nice. That's a nice one.
there you go, guys. That's who's coming. She'll be pretty hot. I guess that'll throw everybody off. Is it? She's bald. You can tell she's bald. So yeah, it's gonna be great. That'll be our guest coming up soon. What is it on or is it not on? No, it's on there.
I took it off now. It's gone.
Oh, okay. I was like, it's
gone now.
on, but it's not on, and it's gone, but it's not
That's
on.
the old one.
All right,
can go back when
and
we upload the show.
I've also got graphics, more graphics, more graphics. Come on, the show's not over, dude. I know you think it is. I know you want it to be, but I know everybody who's listening to it wants it to be. But we're hanging in, guys. We're hanging in because I got one more announcement, which I already announced, but I just wanted to send the incredible graphics that I worked so hard on to our buddy here, and then get them to you, so you can be reminded that you want to spend the New Year's with us, because no one's doing nothing. The world sucks, and if you got something cool to add to this party, please do it. And because it is gonna be a party. It's gonna be really slow. And
I'm going to have to go deep into the well of
I will-
Grateful Dead
I'm going to be
stories.
barely able to talk after 4 hours because it's going to be starting to kick in. I already know. I do lose the power of speech, which might be a hard show because that has been one of the effects of massive amounts of where I'm just like. I'm going to need help. I think I'm going to need some serious help. There we go. Oh shit. Can we? Yeah, we can't. Yeah, can't get rid of us. We can get out of there, right? We don't.
Oh,
What?
Jesus.
Huh? Oh, now I already see a mistake, I think. Do I? No, I guess I was there. Yeah, the new line. Anyway, New Year's Eve.
We'll be updating the graphics on this
Oh,
card.
yeah, this is serious, bro. It took me like hours.
It literally took 15 minutes.
At first I put 4:20 p.m. to 4:20 p.m. and I thought that didn't really make sense because I could have done a 24-hour show. 24-hour show on edibles is not going to happen. 12-hour show is going to make it work. And so yeah, if you got anything to add to our 12-hour Canathon, just contact us at thedundeals@adamdunshow.com. Tell us what you got. We'll try to slot you into our incredible array of entertainment. But we will be spinning the wheel, and we will be celebrating everybody's 12 o'clock starting
We'll take some
every hour,
input, though,
depending, no
on
matter if
the
there's humans living there or not. It'll just be every hour on the hour. We have to go bam, go hard, like it's fucking going off. It's going off.
And we'll take
somewhere.
some input on the suggestion earlier that we started at 4:20 Eastern time,
Just shut
and
up.
we run it to
We're not,
4:20.
we're not listening
PM.
to Dave. No, Dave.
Yeah, what
just
is
stop.
happening here, Dave?
Stop. Stop. No.
You can write
Oh
in.
yeah.
Huh? Tanks? No. We're, maybe. No. Maybe.
No.
Are we
Just
doing
cannabis.
mushrooms during this thing too, or
I
not?
was
No.
just wondering that same thing.
I mean, I think we are. I think
I might have to.
I think you're
in
going
order
to
stay
have
awake.
to. I think that's going to have to happen anyway. So either way, join us for the party. It should be really fun. We're going to actually expand our Zoom abilities on that time, right? We're going to pay for
Yeah.
it because last time we paid for it and nobody did shit. Hardly. We never hit we didn't even hit close to the mark.
No, we didn't even need
Nope.
it.
Right. So what can we do when we do the full bore?
I think it's 500 people.
Okay, so up to
I'm not sure, though.
500 people. So literally every single person in the chat gang could have their own little box window somehow and be like totally confusing each other, and it'll be like the biggest mishmash of whateverness. But it could be
Yep.
fun. Dave's okay. So we're trying to live everyone's dream out. My 5280 challenge dream, Dave's smoke out dream, and MTI's staying up super long and doing the Adam Dunn show for longer than he's ever done. Dream
On mushrooms.
on mushrooms. That is and everything just getting super confusing and like.
Why don't we
There's going to be
speak-
500 people trying to talk to Mark at the same time while he's tripping. It's going to be the best.
Let's
You're gonna look-
talk to Dr. Mark Bronstein, and maybe he can suggest a proper psychedelic dosage that would sort of encompass the entire 12-hour.
Do you think he does that? I think I
Telethon.
think that's very personal at that point. So I think you just have to just not go too hard out of the gate because you'll be go. slam stuff. don't think you're a fucking superhero, because we're also in front of like everybody trying to make things happen and keep things flowing. So I don't want it to be. I have done my share of trying to organize things, tripping balls, and it's not the easiest thing in the world. It's like one of those, like, I think about it now. Everyone's like, hey, you want it? I'm like, no, it's not actually going to work out, because the minute I have to do something, it just melts in my hands.
And we've learned that lesson a long time ago. You only
all
trip
done.
with veterans who you trust and know.
Yeah.
You don't want to play Papa to somebody while they're
To 500 people on the
Tweaking.
Zoom trying to get on, like, trying to figure it all
Right.
out. It's all right. We can all just do dabs, guys. We can make it out. But
There we go.
but there might be some underlying things going on there.
there might be.
There might be, we'll put it as a
Maybe.
might. But we do want to thank all the guests coming through, Joe Cohen and Andre Grossman, obviously, and also James Bean, man on the scene. I don't know, we missed you this week. We were hoping you were going to comment, because now next week we're all going gold. No, so there'll be a lot of news. We'll have 2 weeks worth of news for him to catch up on. I talked to the kid today. He's aware of his having to come back with his own something during the 12-hour thing. We'll see if he can handle it. Get ready for twos. Cooking up a batch with two. That should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that. I've been waiting for that for a while. And
And
yeah.
I'm a
Get
fan.
through-
And I
get through
know
the
I'm
list.
changing my
Uh-oh.
view on this,
Jesus.
but it's your decision.
What?
But I think we should announce who since this is the audience right now who stuck with us through the whole show,
Yeah.
and there's 65 people online right now watching.
Because there's
I think you should let them know who the person is. Get the word out there
Who are you talking about?
for our next guest on the 12th, on December 11th.
Oh, really? That was it? You folded like a fucking cat? Jesus.
No, I'm thinking
no
this is
tension.
a-
There's no
this is a
tension in
good
your world.
time.
No tension in your world.
Well, no, I just
All
want to
right.
make sure,
How about
because we don't have a show next
how about
week.
since everybody who's listening is our core people? How about now they guess, because now we're not trying to make everybody who's listening sit around and go. Now they guess. We give them 5 guesses. It's pretty much if you can't think of it,
3 guesses first, 2
this
don't
person
count.
is weed related. Okay, that's all you need to know. They like weed. We're not making a stretch here. It's not like some.
Everybody
No,
knows.
not Martha Stewart. Rosendog's out. He's out. No more guesses, Rosendogs. You're out. You're done. That was it. You had one. You had one guess, Rosendogs, and you just blew it on Martha Stewart. And you could tell by that picture it was not Martha Stewart. Come on. Next. Come on. Who? Come on. This is Tony Baloney. You're going to win. This is how you win. You win every time. Couldn't read Tony's poem. He did send us a poem, which I felt like reading, but then it would be like he couldn't win, and then he'd be mad because we didn't win. So did it for you, man. I'll save the poem. We'll change your name. Mitch is not coming on the show. No, that would be impossible.
Oh, that would be great.
I'd love it. Hey, dun dun. 3 guesses. Tommy Chung.
There we
Bam, there you
go.
go. Oh, that was so easy. Fuck.
Yeah, Tommy
Nice,
will be on the show.
And it's post-election, so he'll be happy now. He won't be all stressed out.
Yep.
He was really stressed before. What was the deal last time we were trying to get him on?
I didn't reach out to him properly, and this time I just went straight to him, and I said, "Will you come on the show,
Fargo,
please?"
man, that
And he
would've
said yes,
Yes.
and then that was it. So I realized, don't go to his people, just go to him,
Okay.
and
Well,
it's much easier to get a yes.
what's also cool is, we're going to have some interesting crossover things, because we've got guys who have got some killer Tommy Chong shit, which he doesn't even know about. It's going to be like pulling it
Doesn't
out.
even
Like,
know he's not here, man.
hey, man.
Dave's not here, man.
Oh, you could just not come to the show. That might be the best way we can. Then we can tell everybody you're not here. We can be like, Dave's not here for real. For reals. Dave's not here.
That's a bad idea. Everyone says that's a bad idea. There's hundreds of people saying
Everyone's
that's a
loving
bad
it. Look
idea
at, they're
already.
loving it. They're on fire.
Nope.
They're like, yes,
Bad idea.
They really do
good
love
idea.
it.
Ha ha. Yes,
Bad
yes.
idea.
Yes, sir. We're in. All right. So we just killed 2 birds with 1 stone on that one. Okay. No. So next week, guys, we're not going to be here, but we may throw something crazy up. Who knows? Maybe we'll come up with some wacky idea. You never know. You're just going to sit on a
We'll
sample.
go to
right?
Periscope.
Go to Periscope?
We'll do an Instagram live, you and I, or something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll think of something. We'll come up with something. We'll give you guys. We'll tease you guys, and we're gonna get that. We got the T-shirts in order, and everyone's cool. Colors are correct. We color corrected ourselves.
Sorry, baloney. Sorry. We're so sorry. Don't flame us on Instagram anymore, please.
don't flame me. Please
there were
don't
like
flame
12 comments, and it was just, they were hurtful.
Oh, the pain. The pain. And
They were
suffering.
hurtful.
The pain. Okay, well, anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. Shout out to the chat gang. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Cece, and little Nick coming home finally tomorrow, I think. I mean, I don't know. I have to get on the phone after. I thought they were coming home today, but I didn't hear, so I think tomorrow. Anyway, and shout out to Ace down at the farm. And shout out to Joel. Shout out to everybody out there listening to the show. Shout out to Uncle Andy. Shout out to MTI. Shout out to
MTI.
Vinny over there. KTI. KTI gave me a phone call today. I don't know if he's the first guy to call me to say, hey, I just wanted to call you to tell you that somebody I know got COVID who's checking it out. I'm like, what? I'm like, wait a minute. Is this the call? Are you calling like the girl? Are you like calling like, yeah, you know?
So when he sat next to you, he exposed you?
Maybe. We'll see. He's going to find out. So then we're all exposed.
Holy fuck.
But it
You
wasn't
see what I
real.
said, MTI?
I
Put
know,
the
right?
mask on.
Look, don't be scared. It's no way.
Holy
way.
fuck.
I don't got my mask on anymore.
Nah, we're all good.
I'm
Don't
just
worry.
kidding.
Talk to the doctor. So you never know. He's the first guy to call me. The first one I ever got. I was like, what? But it wasn't his friend. He knows somebody who knows somebody. So I was like, all right, that's like, if you don't know somebody who knows somebody. So anyway, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hey,
Be
don't
safe,
worry.
everybody.
KTI, you motherfucker. Maybe. He says maybe. He's like a maybe. He's throwing a maybe up there.
Yeah, he's got a
KTI, maybe. Maybe knows somebody who knows somebody.
Fuck.
Look at Dave. Dave's
Stressed.
worried about the screen time. Uh-oh. Ace is
No, I'm worried about you two.
we're fine. Famous
I know
last
it's not
words.
me.
2
I don't
weeks.
leave the house. I'm
They're
in
like,
like a
why are you
respirator
going
when
away
I
for
leave the
2
house."
weeks? Because you're exposed. Oh, see
Oh,
that? It was
geez,
a
here it comes.
built-in quarantine. See you guys in 2 weeks. No, I'm just kidding.
Start the
Peace out, guys.
later.
Peace.
Stay safe.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden message.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimedia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it ganja.